A Krispy Kreme truck on its way to McDonald's can only mean one thing. Fresh donuts are closer than you think.
Get a free coffee or soft drink with the purchase of a Krispy Kreme donut, only in the app.
The dawn of a new era. 13 long years under a cloud, and today the sun finally breaks through. No more goodbye to Texas University. No more goodbye A&M. Instead, we say howdy to the return of one of the great rivalries in college football. Texas and Texas A&M, and the stakes have never been higher. A spot in the SEC championship game for the winner. And there is bitterness lodged in memories and old feuds. And for more than a decade, the Aggies have had to live with a walk-off field goal loss. But revenge is best served cold, but nothing will be cold about this. The 12th man is ready to go. Arrogance meets insecurity. Contempt meets condescension. Pettiness meets jealousy. Discipline versus keeping it weird. It's a clash of cultures, and I'm here for it, baby.
Texas A&M beats Texas, and they're in the conference championship. That game has massive implications.
Let's go! And we're coming to your city. The college football party all day long. Well, we rode out through that valley, grew a shooter, gig 'em Aggies, threw our Longhorns up in Austin along the way.
Roll Tide rolled through Alabama, Happy Valley, and the farm and stamper. Randy Hill went through War Eagle on the plains.
Rise the big house, the Gator swamp, 5 nights in the tomahawk chop. On USC, the 12 got the Georgia Dogs, come on.
I'm talking Louisiana, California, Carolina, Colorado, Mississippi, Oregon, Kentucky. Are you with me?
It's Reese, Dick, Kurt, Saban, Corso, and Mappy.
You can feel the electricity. We love you guys.
Nothing but classes.
And we're coming to your city.
Here we go.
College football party all day long. If you wanna leave, if you wanna sing, if you wanna change.
College Game Day, live from College Station, Texas, is built by the Home Depot. Proud sponsor of college football's premier pregame show.
Tonight, the 12th man will stand at the ready. Kyle Field holds 102,733, and tonight they are expecting in excess of 109,000 people to see the renewal of Texas A&M winner to the SEC championship game where they will play Georgia. And last night in clean old-fashioned hate, oh man, did Georgia Tech take them to the wire. We're in the 7th overtime. We end up playing 8 OTs. Haynes King, who was brilliant, desperately trying to get the 2. No good. Now the Dogs can save themselves, and Nate Frazier does. And Georgia, somehow, some way, in 8 overtimes, one short of the longest game ever, by the way, wins it 44-42. Now, that game did not automatically put Georgia in the field. What it did was almost guarantee that they will be in strong position for it at Lawrenceburg, even if they were to lose the SEC championship game against the winner of Texas and Texas A&M tonight. We'll have longer highlight of that a little bit later on. Georgia was down 17-0 in that game. Yeah. And here they are. Oh, okay, give us a heads up. And I'm here to tell you, figuratively speaking, of course, they are ready to fire big caliber at Texas tonight. They have waited a long, long time for this. Great to have you with us on this Thanksgiving weekend from College Station. Reese Davis, along with Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, Nick Saban, Desmond Howard, and Pat McAfee here for the second time here in College Station.
Yeah, it is, I'd like to say it's an absolute honor to be in this glorious city for a second time in one season. And let me tell you, I feel like I have a little bit of grasp on the humans that call this place home. I think number one thing is we love Jesus Christ down here, okay?
Amen.
Very thankful.
Preach.
Happy Thanksgiving, obviously. We love that. And if you look at the top of this stadium, there's about 1,000 American flags. We love the United States of America down here.
There you go, Pat. There you go.
And you know, there's a lot of love around the United States of America and Jesus Christ, but boy, there is a hell of a lot of hate for this Texas University up there in Austin. Now, I didn't know the hate that Texas A&M had for Texas. I had no idea. I think they say everything's bigger in Texas. Well, I think you can put a little bit of spite in there as well. So you start learning about this team, and like all their chants and traditions down here are basically revolved around telling that team in Austin to go screw themselves. Beat the hell out of TU. Woo! And then they have a war hymn here, 3 minutes long.
You gonna play this one?
3 minutes long, this war hymn. And you know, this place has been around since 1876. They used to be called the Farmers. Aggies is short for agriculture, but they've developed so much. And you know, they have the largest student cadets like in the entire, they're ready to serve this country if need be. So you're talking about having a war hymn. It's not against Nazi Germany. No, not against them. It's not against the Taliban. No. No. Hullabaloo, connect. Hullabaloo, connect.
Goodbye to Texas University. So long to the original line. Goodbye to hero Texas Aggies. They are the ones for the real line. The eyes of Texas are upon you. That is the song they sing so well. Something else. So goodbye.
They hate them.
Texas University.
They do that all day. Listen, I don't want to stop you. But it's 3 minutes. I'm telling Texas they suck. Then they do these saw things. During the games, they do this. It's supposed to reenact saws for cutting the horns off of the Texas Longhorn. Everything about these people hate Texas. And today, there's a spot in the SEC championship? Are you kidding me? What an honor to be in a little chilly College Station. Hate, love, football, and they're still singing about their hatred of Texas. And that's a song. And that song is to cut off the Longhorns. It's not a good act.
Do it the whole show.
I can't hear anything, but I'll tell you what.
Well, here we go.
Good work out there. That was phenomenal. There was no way I was going to learn every word, Coach Saban. But I think what the point is, and we're all learning this, we love Jesus, we love America. Boy, we hate Texas University here in College Station. What a time.
Wait till you find out that they like to call them T-Sips, too.
What's that mean?
It's just a mean name for them. They don't like.
Can't wait to learn that.
Comparatively speaking, I would say that Ohio State and Michigan are just the best of friends.
Oh, yeah.
They always sing each other that much. Here they go again. Ohio State's lost 3 in a row to Michigan. The Buckeyes have worn that scarlet letter L. Ohio State needs this to get into the Big Ten championship game.
Well, it's been 3 years. Michigan has owned this rivalry, and Ohio State wants payday. We got to go back to Woody Hayes when he got upset, tearing up the yard marker. He's been fired up, and now it's Ryan Day who's been fired up these last 3 years. Let's see how it turns out on the field. The Ohio State defense has been incredible. Caleb Downs, of course, with that big return in special teams. Ohio State defense comes in a great deal of confidence in this football game. If Michigan hangs around in this football game, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, that defensive line they've got to be the difference maker against that reshuffled offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with you. Washington, Oregon, both teams coming off of a bye. Washington beat up on UCLA 2 weeks ago, ran the ball on them. 31-19 was the final, created turnovers on defense. Will Rogers actually ran the ball well, but he threw 2 interceptions and he was replaced in the second half. And Oregon, coming off of a bye, last time we saw those dudes, they were up in Camp Randall. And man, I tell you what, the Badgers were giving them all they could handle, but they escaped with a victory. This is going to be a great game today, Pat.
Another fantastic rivalry out in the beautiful state of Arizona. Big 12 championship implications on the line. That's Sam Levitt, quarterback of the Arizona State team that almost gave away a big-time dub against BYU. They win, and they're in. Scatterboo, their running back, is an absolute animal. And Ken Dillingham, the 34-year-old head coach, has this Arizona State team activating the Valley more so than they could imagine. Arizona can ruin it all today.
Clemson versus South Carolina. Dual threat quarterback Clay Klubnik leads the Tigers offense with 34 total touchdowns. He's passed for 29 TDs and ran for 5 more. The challenge for Clemson is stopping the pass rush of Cal Kennard and freshman Dylan Stewart. The Gamecocks defense has 39 sacks, which is 3rd best in college football.
Excellent. Texas and Texas A&M and Justin Tucker in 2011 seemed to give the Horns eternal bragging rights. For 13 years, they've stuck it to the 12th man. But you know what's going to happen tonight? For the first time since they joined the SEC, Quinn Ewers and company will be on the road at night for a conference game. Ooh. But the Aggies better be ready for this big play capability while Marcel Reed and company, Noah Thomas, they'll try to come up with big plays against this stifling Longhorns defense. Rough, tough, real stuff, Texas A&M. These two teams historically haven't been good at the same time. You know they haven't won 10 games in the same season since 1975. This is usually an up and down type of rivalry. There are implications really though all over the place today for conference races and the college football playoff, Nick.
Yeah, but I think the first thing is winning a conference championship is a big deal. And it has even a bigger impact on what happens in the college football playoff. In the SEC, whoever wins this game is going to go play Georgia. Miami can win in the ACC and play SMU. The Big 12 is so complicated, I'm going to leave that up to you to explain that. But it's really, really crazy. And the Big 10, if Ohio State wins, they control their own destiny. But if they don't beat Michigan today, you got Indiana and Penn State back in the race against Oregon.
Going to this 12-team playoff format is because now you have more teams in contention, more teams with the hopes of making it to the college football playoff. But now the rivalry games is just an added layer of hate and vitriol because, like Coach was talking about, when you can knock a team out that's your rival, knock them out of not only conference contention, but the college football playoff. Look at Arizona State. You're looking at the Sun Devils now. Good position to maybe make it to the Big 12 championship game. Arizona's like, no, we're going to knock you out of that, and then you won't make it to the college football playoff. So I love the fact that now we have the 12-team playoff format, and it adds much more vitriol to rivalries, Pat.
Yeah, you talk about that Arizona team. Noah Fafita, obviously the year has not gone how they expected it to go. But these rivalry weekends, especially with championship implications, they're remembered forever, and I happen to be on the wrong side of one of those things. And we lose to Pitt, okay? Massive rival at West Virginia. We were supposed to go to the national championship. I had a terrible game. All of us kind of played bad. We lose to Pitt, okay? Pitt has accomplished nothing in college football. This particular team, absolutely nothing. Their players played college football, so they got past high school. But we're talking about no conference championships, no bowl wins, no nothing. And because of that win, that 13-9 game, those guys from Pitt are justified to talk trash to me for the rest of my life. They've done nothing with their lives, and they're allowed to trash talk me. That is what rivalries are about. And then whenever you talk about the conference championship implications, what if Texas A&M wins today? When Texas A&M wins today against Texas, Texas's only teams that they played against would be Texas A&M and Georgia. Those would both be losses. Close against Vandy. It's like, does Texas A&M knock Texas out of the 12-team playoff on this particular Saturday? Think about Thanksgiving. Think about holidays. Think about the trash that can be talked forever. That's what's on the line today, a rivalry weekend.
Yeah, that's such a great, not a great reminder about 07, but you're right about that game and the implications. You guys are 4 quarters away from getting into the national championship in a game. I can't remember how heavily you were favored, but it's a great reminder of what's at stake in these kind of games. Last night, Georgia Tech, Georgia, another reminder, and there's going to be more chaos today. One of the games that stood out to me in the last few days was Tulane. Tulane felt like they were the team that might be gaining momentum and maybe could eventually catch Boise State if Boise State got knocked out. Now, all of a sudden, they lost. They lost to Memphis. So it looks like Boise State's the clear group of 4 team. Remember this. They play UNLV, assuming UNLV beats Nevada. UNLV, a team we haven't talked about other than their quarterback controversy way back in week 1 or week 2, they've done a pretty good job. They're going to play in their conference championship game more than likely against Boise. UNLV, after all they dealt with, could beat Boise State and end up getting into this college football playoff. No one's talking about UNLV. What a job that they've done trying to right the ship to get to this position.
Texas was and is my pick to win a national title.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. The main reason is their defense.
Give them
they lead the SEC in all the categories on defense, especially scoring defense, and they got an explosive offense. That's why they get hard to beat. Let me tell you something. You can't beat Texas. But one thing about them, today, I'll tell you a bit, I predict. Tonight will be the toughest game that Texas had all year.
Okay.
But there's one thing I agree with Des on.
Mm-hmm.
One of the players stood up in Alabama's team meeting on Monday.
Okay.
And says, the only thing you're going to remember about here is what your record is against Auburn.
100%.
So these games mean
100%.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what's at stake. The rivalry of how these teams view each other. They grew up together, disliking each other. The fans have great passion. Never know what's going to happen.
We're gonna dive into the psychology of rivalries a little bit later on. So much on this final Saturday of the regular season. Here on the slate, Washington, Oregon. We touched on that. You know, when Dylan Gabriel starts, it'll be his 61st career start. Ties former Oregon quarterback, current Broncos stud Bo Nix for the most in the country, most in history. Grambling Southern Bayou Classic. Longtime game day favorite Valdosta State hosting Miles College, second round of the D2 championship. Inside College Game Day, rivalry weekend, all kinds of special guests. We'll have the head coach of the Aggies, Mike Elko, coming by to say hello. So will Steve Sarkisian here from Ryan Day as they get ready. And we'll talk about those rivalries, what goes into the psychology, especially if you have nothing to lose. 150, we gave away money, or you gave away money here the last time we were.
Thank you. Yeah, 50,000. First ever winner was last time we were down here in College Station. Looking to do it again.
And Dude Perfect here to be our guest pickers. Texas A&M legends. See what kind of tricks they have up their sleeve. And here come the yell leaders.
That's. I don't know if you can do that on TV. All right, yeah, we can. I guess. You know what it is.
The gestures performed by the yell leaders do not necessarily reflect.
Black Friday savings are here.
So what are you working on?
We're keeping an eye out for Santa.
And an eye out for savings.
You can get a tool like this free
when you buy a battery kit from one of our top brands.
Can I get free delivery?
Sure can. Get Black Friday savings now at the Home Depot.
Takes the handoff. It's a refurb.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
While you were away, there were some developments. Fortunately, DoorDash can quickly come to your rescue. Your door to more. DoorDash.
1, 2, 3, go!
We follow pizza drivers and make sure their customers get a Pepsi.
Is that legal?
It's a gray area.
That's the perfect combo.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well.
Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Just for you, just for you, just for you. My love, just for you, just for you. I finally realized that it's just for you.
Let's go to our next segment, Fairest Calls, inspired by Geico's fair and fast 24/7 claim service.
Do we have to do the Geico stuff while I'm here?
Yep, we do. Let's play the clip.
Holding, number 53, 10-yard penalty.
This literally happens every game. Can we just skip to the action?
Nope, nothing but fair and fast claims, just like Geico. Here's the next clip.
But I don't want to play the clip.
Pass interference, number 34.
Wow, doesn't get any fairer than this, boys.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Advil liquid gels are faster and stronger than Tylenol rapid release gels. Also from Advil, Advil Targeted Relief, the only topical with 4 powerful pain-fighting ingredients that start working on contact and lasts up to 8 hours.
This is not a procedure. It's just a hard-working cream.
Revitalift Triple Power with pro-retinol, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C visibly reduces wrinkles, firms, and brightens skin in 1 week.
Ladies, it's time to ask for more.
Revitalift Triple Power by L'Oreal Paris.
Fuel your fandom. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official partner of the NCAA.
Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Visit consumercellular.com today.
College Game Day is built by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. And in part by DoorDash. From apps to snacks, get all your game day favorites delivered before kickoff. And Arby's, the official burger sponsor of ESPN College Game Day. Arby's, we have the meats.
Our crew had to be in College Station on Thanksgiving, so they celebrated with a turkey bowl. Black team winning 49-14. Let me take a moment and thank all of these guys who have to come early. They just absolutely work their tails off and crush it so we can have some fun with you guys. So congratulations to the 49-14 victors. The Black team, maybe they'll get an award from the Home Depot College Football Awards December 12th, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll see all that, including the Home Depot College Football Coach of the Year. Thanksgiving weekend, a ton of games on Friday. How about Ashton Genty went over 2 bills again as Boise State rolled past Bees?
Yeah, you can't slow him down no matter what you do. You put 8 in the box. They have ways of getting him to be able to make that 8th guy miss, and he just gets north and south. Physical guy. Been doing it all year. Another big game last night.
If Genty's not your Heisman favorite, it's probably Travis Hunter against Oklahoma State, who, by the way, Cowboys just flat let go of the rope. Hunter with an interception right here. Oklahoma State didn't win a game, but I digress because we want to enjoy the greatness of Travis Hunter.
Yeah, this was an absolute throttling on Senior Day over there in Colorado. Travis Hunter would go for 3 tuds, 1 pick, who knows how many tackles, 114 snaps, and I believe, although I'm not Joe Tessitore on the College Football Playoff Committee, and I don't have a Heisman vote, I think he solidified a Heisman for the Colorado Buffaloes.
The fact that they won 9 games.
Yeah.
After
what a job.
What was expected of Coach Prime and that Colorado team? 9 games on their way to a bowl game. How about him? My guys are playing in bowl games. That's what they signed up for. They're playing for bowl games. I thought that was impressive.
And they have guaranteed themselves a tie for first place in the Big 12, but that does not necessarily mean that they are in the Big 12 championship game. And this from a team that finished last in the Pac-12 last year, too. So here, let me break this down for you. You saw the standings. We have the potential, Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State win today for a 4-team tie. If you have a 4-team tie, the championship game, Arizona State and Iowa State. Now, it gets a lot more fun if somebody trips up and you wind up with a 3-team tie. If it's Arizona State that loses the Territorial Cup, you've got the Cyclones and BYU. If Iowa State loses to Kansas State, it's Sparky and BYU. Now, here's where it gets crazy because you go down the list. If BYU loses to Houston and West Virginia wins,
Yeah.
Arizona State, Iowa State again.
Still don't see a graphic for WVU.
Mathematically eliminated yesterday.
Let me do these two Colorado ones because people want to know it. 7-2, 9 wins. Can Colorado get in? Here are the two scenarios. BYU, have to root against them. Texas Tech, Baylor, Cincinnati win. Root against BYU again. Texas Tech wins. And that's a plus. Baylor or a Cincinnati loss. So Colorado has a very narrow, direct path to be able to play Iowa State.
I want to know
who
was in charge of that this week.
Marissa Dowling.
Marissa, good job.
Marissa, great work.
And that's why I let him.
There's Marissa. Marissa, great work, Marissa. Marissa does not like the camera.
Yeah,
but
that third and fourth line, I still don't know what you told us.
Yeah.
It's something about Cincinnati and BYU.
It's because, you know what it is? I'm going to make this as simple as I possibly can.
Please.
What happens is when you start getting down to those bottom tiebreakers in the Big 12, it depends on the order of finish in the conference.
Okay.
So those other games among teams that really don't have a chance to play in the title game, it will impact how they finish and who wins the tiebreaker.
If all the favorites win, it'll be Arizona State, which is obviously very fascinating, and Iowa State all the way back in this thing. And I think they lost 2 games a few weeks back against Texas Tech and Kansas. That was when Kansas kind of started their entire thing. Then they get wins over Cincy, and they get wins over Utah. And you see Rocco Becht with Higgins and Noel at wide receiver able to slice and dice. And it's like, wait a minute. We forgot about the Iowa State Cyclones, and they're basically in their bag to make a Big 12 championship, maybe even into the college football playoff. Now, Kansas State's able to run. Iowa State hasn't been able to stop the run as well, but Kansas State hasn't been able to stop the pass, and Rocco could cook today, and Matt Campbell could find himself in another championship game.
Yeah, talk about the Arizona State-Arizona game. 2 receivers to keep an eye on. You got Tedorora McMillan, the receiver at Arizona. He's the career yards receiving leader with 3,355 yards. Wow. 6'5", 215 pounds. He can do it all. Keep an eye on him. And then Jordan Tyson for Arizona State, emerging star right now. First 4 games, he had 14 catches, like 201 yards, 1 touchdown. The last 7 games, 53 catches, 749 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So keep an eye on those 2 receivers this game today.
But, you know, that Cam Scatterbo guy, that's got to be my favorite player in college football, man. This guy is rugged, tough.
Yep.
I mean, I just love a great competitor, and he's all that. But, you know, BYU has had a couple tough losses here. But I don't think that Houston kind of matches up with them. BYU's defense has made the hugest leap of anybody. Houston struggles on offense. Jake Retzloff has been a really good quarterback for BYU. I think they're going to run Houston right out of the park.
You know, with Scatterbo and then with the way Sam Levitt's been playing, they are a dangerous team. You would expect in a rivalry game against Arizona to be close, and that's another strength of Arizona State. They're 6-1 in these one-possession games. Iowa State. So if we're looking at the 2 teams that more than likely could get to the Big 12 championship game, Iowa State is a team that has struggled defending that mobile quarterback. Now here comes Avery Johnson and what he can do running around. So I have to do a good job of kind of squeezing him, not letting him get out and make big plays.
A couple of things you look for from the Big 12. First, will it be a one-bid conference? That seems likely. And will they finish ahead of the highest-ranked Group of 5 champion and get a bye? You know, Iowa State won back-to-back championships back in conference championships in 11 and 12. 19, 11, and 12. Last time they won a conference, 19-12. And Iowa State has a chance to get to the Big 12 championship game and maybe end the longest conference title drought in college football.
112 years.
I just look at Arizona State. The whole script has flipped on them. When you look at what they've done and what they've come back from this season, and now all the pressure is on them to win, and it's got to be in their rivalry game, as you pointed out. That's a tough place to go in Tucson.
What were they doing at the end of that game last week? Running backwards there?
That was awful.
That was terrible.
Look, I love Kenny Dillingham. You lose that game, that might be a fireable offense. You might have to fire him on the way there.
The Bears come
back in 3 or 4 years and we figure this out. He got away with it.
Throw it up into the air.
Never do it again.
Bro, that was ridiculous.
Never, ever do it again.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've been asked about that game management. I've never seen anything like it.
Dillingham's watching this and going, I got it. Okay, won't do it again.
34. Hey, you got to win. Way to go.
You got to win.
And the crowd got to rush the field twice. That's 2 celebrations.
He was just trying to help him out. Here's a look from the Geico Get More fan cam showing us the best fans here at College Game Day. I hope you've been paying attention to the news that Pete Thamel has been breaking this morning. Andrew Luck, who's going to join us later, taking over as general manager of Stanford football. Pete, let's check in. What else you got this morning?
Well, Reese, right here at College Station, the eyes of Texas are going to be on Longhorn quarterback Quinn Ewers. Sources have told me he's dealing with a high ankle sprain, and he's not going to be 100% tonight. That leaves open the possibility we could see some Arch Manning if Ewers struggles with his mobility. Remember, A&M has struggled with running quarterbacks like Riley Leonard and Lenore Sellers from South Carolina. As for Michigan, entering the game at Ohio State today, they're facing being without their 2 best players on each side of the ball. On offense, that's Colston Loveland. I've been told there's pessimism about his availability. On defense, All-American corner Will Johnson, source have told me, is out today. Michigan enters that game as a 19-point underdog, Reese. Wow. And in Eugene, we're going to get a glimpse of the future of Washington football. Sources have told me that freshman quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. is expected to get an uptick in snaps today, and that could include his first career start. He started in the second half of that UCLA game last week, and we're going to get a big glimpse of that future quarterback for the Huskies.
And Oregon should be ready for this one, Pete. Dan Lanning, I believe, is 0 for UW in his career. 0-3, he's the number 1 team in the country. Tries to move on. Old Crimson, Wazoo finishes up the regular season against Wyoming, 317 consecutive game day appearances. College Game Day rolls on. The entire theme of the show is going to be where do all the conference championships and playoff implications fall. Alabama has an outside chance. They need things to happen around them, but as Nick mentioned, first they have to take care of business in the Iron Bowl and the game. In Columbus, they've got all the M's crossed out, but it's going to be that simple to end the hex against the Wolverines.
Can't lose.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
He loves that baby.
My pride and joy. And wait till you see the other 2 surprises. A joyful bundle of 3. 3? I was thinking of gifting 1 to each of you. I got AT&T's bundle of 3, iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence for me, and iPad and Apple Watch for you.
Get iPhone 16 Pro on us, plus iPad and Apple Watch for 99 cents per month each, and save up to $1,700.
It's a Black Friday event at DraftKings, and touchdowns are on sale Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. Cross the goal line with doorbuster profit boosts on all types of touchdown bets. Bet one, get one on rushing TDs, receiving TDs, defensive TDs, and more. And check in all weekend for flash deals on bets that will have you TD dancing in the end zone. So load up your shopping cart with touchdowns at DraftKings. Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. The crown is yours.
On a Longing, Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, what are you doing here? Texting another conference now.
Yeah, but it's like on the other side of the country. It's really, really far.
But you're not even on our schedule this season.
Maybe we can meet you in the playoffs.
That's crazy talk.
You know what else is crazy? Getting all that Dr. Pepper flavor with 0 sugar.
But Dr. Pepper doesn't have a questionable secondary like Tech does.
Here, catch!
And that's why you're a mascot.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Everyone knows good things come in 3s, like our Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99. Maybe the saying should be good things come in 19.99s. Maybe not. The Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99.
A Krispy Kreme truck on its way to McDonald's can only mean one thing. Fresh donuts are closer than you think.
Get a free coffee or soft drink with the purchase of a Krispy Kreme donut, only in the app.
2 elite conferences loaded with talent on the spotlight.
This is spectacular.
Under the lights, which side will shine the brightest?
Wiley keeps the pie
Hidalgo with a major highlight.
And whose legend will grow?
Are you not entertained?
Big-time players step up in big-time moments. The SEC-ACC Challenge. Texas Notre Dame at 7, Duke South Carolina at 9. Next Thursday on ESPN.
We interrupt with an important announcement. The Simpsons Fun Day Football is coming to Springfield. Bart and the Bengals face off against Homer and the Cowboys in prime time. Monday, December 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus.
Rivalry week is the greatest week, period. End of sentence and end of regular season. This is the week when we learn about history. So many series kicking off this week for the 100th and something edition. The week when we learn about the bowls before the bowls. Egg, palmetto, and iron.
Auburn's going to win the football game. It's caught. Isaiah Bond.
Cups, Commonwealth and Governors. Buckets, made old and oaken. And axes. One swung over the Bay Area 1 week ago, and one supposedly swung by Paul Bunyan on the line this week. The week we are reminded that Tobacco Road also plays football. That in Georgia, hate comes not only clean, but also old-fashioned. That Texas-sized hate is back. That Farmageddon is an actual word. And that one game is so big, it's just the game.
Ohio State #2 and Michigan.
Rivalry week is about tradition, trophies, postseason hopes, but above all else, the promise of lording a big old W over your enemies' heads for the next 365 days.
Well, if recruiting is the lifeblood, rivalry's the heartbeat, and the hearts will be beating quickly. Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You know, Alabama's won the last 6 meetings between these two. Average margin of victory, 4 touchdowns. This game doesn't feel like that. There have been some classics, most of them in Jordan here, but in 2010, Cam Newton, the comeback game, they call it, at Auburn, down 24-0. Lucky he wasn't down by 30 or 40 by halftime. Newton had a huge second half. The late, great Philip Lutzenkirchen making the catch, and Auburn came back to win it 28-27, went on to win the national championship. And then everybody remembers last year, all was lost, 4th and 31. Just like Nick drew it up. Want to make them think they had it for a second? Just let them think it for a minute, Nick. And then now, Texas wide receiver Isaiah Bond.
Great player.
Etching his name into Iron Bowl history as Alabama won it 27-24, went on to win the SEC. So a lot of intensity in this game, no matter the circumstances. No one's experienced it quite like you have.
Well, there's a huge advantage for the home team in this game. We were 7-1 when we played at Alabama. We were like 5-4 when we played at Auburn. But I think Kalen DeBoer has a huge job in front of him in terms of getting his players ready to play this game. You know, they had college football playoff, aspirations, and now that's maybe not the case, but this game is really important to the people in the state of Alabama. You know, when you're born in Alabama, you have a birthright. You're either going to be for Alabama or you're going to be for Auburn. You grow up that way with great passion. So this is a big game to a lot of people, and it's a big game to the players.
Wait, what you said, you almost calling that game last week, is that game went down and Bama lost it, you can almost feel the life of Alabama coming out of them. And in Norman, and you just wonder now, a week later, it's a rivalry game, so that helps. But what can he do to get them to engage, to be able to take advantage of that home field? Pat, I know you got Auburn on the other side that hasn't had the kind of year they envisioned, even though they're getting a little bit better here lately. I can't. The spirit of that game is going to be fascinating to see.
Well, to Coach Saban's point, I mean, Kalen DeBoer, first year there, filling in the boots of the GOAT. You're not going to make the college football playoff, even though, once again, I'm not Joe Tessitore. I do not have a vote in a college football playoff committee. Okay, that is not something, but probably not making a 12-team playoff after everything they've done. And also, you can't lose to Auburn. at home in your first year. If you're trying to win over that fan base, win over the boosters, win over everything, you got to win this game. But they got their work cut out for them. Against Oklahoma last week, they gave up 257 rush yards. Okay, and this crew got to see what Jarquez Hunter could do last week for that Auburn team. He went bananas against Texas A&M. So there's a road for Auburn to win and really.
You reminded the folks about Jarquez?
They didn't even respond with a hiss. I thought we'd get a hiss on that.
Jarquez went bananas.
One hiss.
But they're past that. SEC championship, if they win today, they don't need to think about what happened last week against Auburn. But there is a road for Auburn to beat Alabama. And look out for true freshman wide receiver from Auburn, Cam Coleman. Nobody really talked about him because Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith and everything like that. Ryan Williams hasn't gone for more than 40 yards in the last 3 weeks. So it's like Cam Coleman's coming on, Jarquez Hunter's coming on.
Peyton Thorne's coming on.
Kalen needs this one down there in Alabama.
Although Ryan Williams should have gone for more than 40 yards last week.
Yeah.
Kind of an egregious call there.
That was beautiful.
Agreed.
Yeah, when you look at Auburn, they're going to come in there with a lot of confidence after they won the game, quadruple overtime over the Aggies. And I'm just wondering what's the mindset of Alabama coming to this game. Earlier this season, I said that they're a team who were stuck in between two worlds, like who they were and who they want to be. They still don't have an identity. This is a big game for them. They're 4-3 in the conference. Auburn would love to send them out of the regular season just 500 in the SEC, 4-4. Can you imagine that?
Right.
Coach, that would be crazy.
Well, after last week, Auburn is hot. Alabama is not. That's the big thing. And the Auburn's looking for a big upset, and they can get it if Peyton Thorne plays a great game. But here's another point. Coach Freeze has beaten Alabama 2 times in his career. That's pretty high. Many people say that. I think it's a big upset. Watch it this week, Auburn against Alabama.
Not so fast. Adversity causes some to break and some to be great. And that's Alabama's challenge today.
It sounds like you're trying to coach them from the
Trying to give them an identity. Why don't you step to the camera here, Coach? Make sure they're listening to that. Hey, we'll pick this game later on, but right now you've got a rivalry game on the board, Steve.
Yeah, Stevie.
We got a new rivalry they're trying to get, but Washington, Oregon. Washington's the worst team in the country on the road against the spread. They're winless in conference. You mentioned 0-3 for Dan Lanning. We're going to lay them with Oregon.
Lay them and laugh. You're going to lay them and laugh?
You want to talk about hate? There's a lot of hate up there.
Oh, yeah.
We love down there, too.
Sir.
Jesus America. We hate Texas. A lot of hate up there. Last week, I hate that you went 1-2. Love that you're 24-15 on the year, Steve.
Thanks, buddy.
Making money off of Steve's brain. I like doing that.
Appreciate you.
No problem, brother. Keep swinging that
Breaking
bat.
this up a little bit now. We're going to do Super Dogs, early Saturday Super Dogs delivered by DoorDash. Want to remind everybody that the Super Dog MVP from last week was the fake punt at Penn State that made sure that Kirk and LC had to settle for the cover. So the Super Dog MVP going to Penn State special teams. LC, who you got this week?
Florida State is 16.5-point underdog versus Florida. And then you couldn't get it. Because of the poor season, they've been working on Florida for 3 weeks. That could help. And listen, there's nothing like winning at home against the used Gators. Early Christmas present for the State fans.
Noel's looking good. They're ready to go. All right, Miami and Syracuse. Look out of the Carrier Dome.
Here we go.
There's just something a little sneaky about going to the Carrier Dome. They can score points. This is going to be a shootout, whoever wins this one. I think the Orange can hang around.
I'm taking Syracuse, too, because, Syracuse can throw it. They can light it up. Miami's had struggles in the secondary, so I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, and Syracuse is going to cover the spread.
Poor old Michigan walking in the Columbus without their 2 best players. When I looked at the spread, it was 21 points. I think I'm getting 21. Maybe they'll cover. This is a rivalry game. A lot of hate, a lot of animosity. They love to go down there and just compete. Just compete with the Buckeyes.
Arizona State's the best team in the country against the spread at 9-2.
Really?
Arizona looks to deactivate the Valley.
Ooh.
Watch out in Tucson. Watch out.
Better you than me, my friend.
I love that state of Arizona. I also love Southern Miss getting 17.5 versus Troy. So what? Southern Miss is 1-10. So am I in this Super Dog. Why not today? Southern Miss, do your thing.
I'm going to go with Cal getting 13.5 at SMU. Now, look, Cal's lost 5 games this year by a grand total of 17 points.
Whoa.
All 5 losses. Well, I'm getting 13.5
I like
here.
this one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see if they can stick around and stay close. By the way,
everything you pick wins. So.
Yes.
Honorable mention special teams player, Superdome Player of the Week was to Iowa State for committing all of these miscues right there.
To Jimmy G for not letting me go with my Florida pick. That was my original.
Oh,
pick.
really?
Yeah.
Well,
that's the honorable mention.
I do want to say though, you do understand how this works. Like Nick's ahead of you.
Yeah.
So if you take the same pick that Nick does,
I didn't know he can't. I didn't
catch it.
Ahead of you.
He texts me wherever I am. It says, "Who's your dog?" And I said, "Give me
some sort of collusion over there.
He said, "But oh no." He texted him and said, "Who's your dog?" He said, "Peter."
Good dog, baby.
Peter always wins. He's super dog that always wins. All right.
He does. On a leash, though. We got him tightened up here this week.
That's the Super Dogs recap as we all pursue Game Day greatness, which is what Steve Sarkisian and Mike Elko and Ryan Day are all trying to do in rivalry games. And each of those coaches will join us live here on the show. And Georgia will recap the escape last night against Georgia Tech between the hedges.
It isn't the holidays without a little magic. Inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Get everything to make your season jolly, delivered at the speed you need. The holidays have arrived at the Home Depot.
Submit your Lay's flavor idea, and you could win $1 million. Nice.
What about Hawaiian pizza Lays for the contest?
Don't tell me. Go to doit'saflavor.com.
Pure Enlightenment Lays?
Well, technically, that's not a food. Namaste. Paprika chili Lays. Oh, come on. You don't need $1 million. We don't all have that podcast money, Kevin. Szechuan sauerkraut. Oh! Jordan, I knew I shouldn't have gave you a key.
And Doug.
Whoa, Limu, we're in a parade. Everyone, customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Customize and save!
And then I wake up.
And you have this dream every night?
Yeah, every night.
I see.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. We have one more act for you this evening. I don't even need to say his name.
How does it feel?
Mr. Bob Dylan.
To have you on your own.
200 people in that room, and each one wants me to be somebody else.
What do you want to be?
Whatever it is they don't want me to be.
Like a rolling stone.
A complete unknown, inspired by the true story of Bob Dylan. Rated R.
No peeking.
Okay.
Open.
Over 600,000 USPS employees working in sync to ensure everything sent on its holiday ride ends with a moment of joy. The United States Postal Service.
A Krispy Kreme truck on its way to McDonald's can only mean one thing. Fresh donuts are closer than you think.
Get a free coffee or soft drink with the purchase of a Krispy Kreme donut, only in the app.
conferences loaded with talent on the spotlight.
Let's go!
Which side will shine the brightest?
Are you not entertained?
And whose legend will grow?
Spectacular!
The SEC-ACC Challenge, next Thursday on ESPN.
ESPN Experiences, announcing its latest trip Beyond the Rose, offers you the ultimate VIP experience at the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Inside one of college football's most iconic traditions, 50-yard line seats, exclusive behind-the-scenes access to ESPN's production, and much, much more. Scan the QR code or head on to On Location's website to secure your spot. Probably see the Herb Street booth there in the Rose Bowl too.
Yeah.
Iconic thing in there, as Kirk has called the Rose Bowl for so many years. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is more driven. There's Marcel Reed option, and that has worked quite well. Vanderbilt. They want in Texas, answering, responding in kind after Auburn beat A&M last week, 4 overtimes.
That's smart. That's smart. Got a lot of time to Christmas shop still. Remember that. A lot of time.
Hey, how about DJ Griff this morning playing the Jay Knott song? That was good earlier.
Not a baby Griff.
DJ Griff providing the musical background as we say good morning to Jess Sims.
Good morning, Reese Davis. I am here with 2 Texas A&M superfans, Erica and Kyle. Now, Erica, you were born in Aggie. Why is this school so special to you and your family?
It's forever. Oh God, this is crazy. I got 2 degrees from here. I work here. My daughter is going to be class of 2042, and it's just the best place to be.
It sure is. This is our second time here, so I completely agree with you. Now, Kyle, big deal game tonight. Huge rivalry. How do you feel about y'all playing Texas tonight?
You know, that's a fantastic question, but I have a better question.
Oh.
Erica? Will you marry me?
Do you have some advice for them?
Well, we're going on 53 years.
Congratulations.
So we have coffee cups. Miss Terry bought us coffee cups. My coffee cup says Mr. Right, which I said, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But then her cup says Mrs. Never Wrong.
Love, baby. Congratulations out there.
That was good.
She was shocked.
Yeah, how about all of this talk about vitriol and hate, and then love is in the final day.
There we go.
Clean old-fashioned hate was in evidence last night. What a game. Georgia Tech was up 17-0, now 27-20.
The fans were leaving Georgia down 14. At one point in that game, they hustled back. Georgia got back in the game after that fumble with 2 minutes to go.
That was a big hit on Haynes King.
That was targeting of
tremendous.
King.
You thought it was targeting. Didn't get
the
reviewed.
definition of targeting.
Dominic Lovett catches it. Now, Kirby went for 2 in regulation with the first touchdown. If he just kicked all the extra points, all of this overtime stuff would have never happened if everything had played out the same. 8th overtime, King trying to save them. And somewhere the ghost of Larry Munson rose up and he said, hunker down one more time, you guys. Please, I'm Band-Aid too. Nate Frazier
What a game.
gets it at 44-42.
Wow.
8 overtimes. Georgia was a huge favorite, Nick, and we see this happen again and again in rivalry games. Why?
Well, I think the big thing in a rivalry game is, can you stay focused on the things that you can control? And there's, so much noise outside that sometimes you focus on the things you can't control and it affects your performance. And, you want to play with emotion in these games, but you don't want to be emotional and make bad choices and decisions and make big mistakes.
I'd love to ask you, because you've gone into rivalry games where you're the team that's going to kill Auburn by 3 touchdowns. Those are dangerous games to go into. And you've been on the other side where maybe Auburn's having a big year and you guys are trying to pull off an upset. Tell the difference between coaches today dealing with those, like Michigan and Ohio State, those type of rivalries.
Well, you know what? when I was at Ohio State, they used to say, we're practicing for Michigan every day. Because if we're good enough to beat them, we're good enough to beat everybody else. That was Woody Hayes' philosophy. Well, my philosophy was always one game at a time. Let's focus on the game we have coming up so that we can get ourselves in a position to be able to play in a game like that. So I think psychologically, I never made such a big thing out of a rivalry game. I wanted to stay focused on what our players had to do to get good technical execution in the game, because that's usually how you get beat. You make terrible mistakes in big games.
You were more about routine, about the week, every week being the same routine. It wasn't like
same routine.
It's Auburn week.
Yeah.
It was
Process.
Players love routine.
Yeah.
I mean, they love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get up, have coffee, 2 Debbie cookies every day. That's how it starts. It's routine.
Yeah, I'm old school, though. I'm like where that time you spent in Columbus, I spent significant time in Ann Arbor, and I was taught by Bo Schembechler, who had the same mentality. Like, if we can beat Ohio State, we can beat everybody. I mean, we understood that week was special. I mean, did you have the same routine? Yeah. Was it more intense? Exactly. So, in my opinion, when you talk about the psychology, though, as a player, I always wanted our players to understand, when you watch film of a team, because we do a lot of, classroom work watching film, understand the team that, when we play Ohio State, you're not going to see the Ohio State team that played Minnesota, Purdue, Wisconsin. No. When they see the winged helmet, something special is going to come out of them. So understand, you're going to get their best shot for 4 quarters.
And for me, I think just to add on to everything you guys are saying, a lot of familiarity with each other, both the programs, but also the players. A lot of the similar recruiting beds. A lot of players have played against each other for a long time. And obviously, anytime you know each other, you're going to play a little bit better against them.
Yeah, a lot of these rivalries, though, are born because of big brother, little brother. One school was established, the other school came up, Oregon State, Washington State, Alabama, Auburn. But some of them were born out of competition. Like Michigan and Ohio State, to me, because Woody and Bo were such great competitors, and they had such great teams, and the game had such great consequences, just like our LSU game became a big rivalry at Alabama.
Yeah, some of excellence, some of contempt. This one probably falls in the latter category.
Oh, yeah.
Number of rivalries, the Duncan weekend menu. Louisville and Kentucky got several of those SEC, ACC rivalry games. Old Oak and Bucket. Let's not forget Indiana. Really good shot to make the playoff if they can avoid tripping there. There he is. Enjoy the show when you come back.
What's this?
Aflac Duck signed me to an NIL deal.
An NIL deal?
It's name, injury, and likeness.
Aflac.
With a name like Prime, the injury like mine, and a likeness so fine, that's a triple threat.
Couldn't we just tell people Aflac pays cash for expenses not covered by health insurance?
If we want people to understand how Aflac helps close that gap, we got to get you to think bigger, Coach.
You got to be kidding.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Aflac
is an official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
Miss Terry's not going to like this.
Trouble.
Power through the holidays with Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the #1 longest-lasting AA battery.
Everyone knows good things come in threes, like our Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99. Maybe the saying should be good things come in 19.99s. Maybe not. The Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99.
Something amazing is happening here. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW to design modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making education immersive, accessible, and secure. Now when researchers study elephants, kids learn from 9,000 miles away. Make amazing happen. HP and CDW.
This holiday season, send a reminder of how much we mean to each other. Shutterfly, make something that means something.
Enjoy 40% off your order with code CARDS40. Order now for holiday delivery.
The $7 Lux Cravings box has the Gordita Supreme? What is this, the 90s? This flashback is off the hook. The 90s Gordita Supreme is back in the $7 Lux Cravings box. Relive the decades, only at Taco Bell. Booyah!
Gear up for game day. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official partner of the NCAA.
This thing is so good for your gut health.
I used to have a collagen, I used to have probiotic, a green juice. I replaced it all with this Arma colostrum.
My hair has gotten so much thicker ever since taking this.
So hear the drums drumming, all your friends humming. Yeah, it's a good time coming. Everything you wanted, it's right here, y'all. Everything you needed, it's right here, y'all. We got the tunes bumping, got the kids jumping. Yeah, it's a good time coming.
We interrupt with an important announcement. The Simpsons Fun Day Football is coming to Springfield. Bart and the Bengals face off against Homer and the Cowboys in prime time. Monday, December 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus.
2 elite conferences loaded with talent on the spotlight.
Let's go!
Which side will shine the brightest?
Are you not entertained?
And whose legend will grow?
Spectacular!
The SEC-ACC Challenge, next Thursday on ESPN.
I got some good friends that live down the street. Got a good-looking woman.
Good friends, and at least for 60 minutes tonight, maybe longer, who knows. Mortal enemies is Texas and Texas A&M together again. One of the great rivalries in college football has been on hiatus for 13 years. Uh-oh, what do we have?
We got a cannon!
Oh no, Aggies. Oh no, Aggies.
Fire the hole!
Oh no, Aggies. Fumble. Pat, what the
stance. I didn't do the stance right. That's on me. I didn't do the whole. Oh no! We brought the cannon. Does this mean that Texas A&M is about to lose to the Texas Longhorns? Oh no!
Right now, Mike Elko.
Pat, cannon! Oh! Jeez! Wait!
Hey, you know what? That reminds me a little bit of the way. It reminds me of the way
Great work, boys. Great work, team.
Falling in some holes. They rally and come back.
Really good.
The Cannon guys came back in the game. Ryan Day joins us live before the Buckeyes take on Michigan. McAfee's going to offer $150,000. We gave away money when we were here week 1 when the Aggies took on Notre Dame. See if Herb Street can high-step his way into handing out cash one more time. And Dude Perfect will be here. Absolute legends. Boom. Come here to see if they are as good at making picks as they are at the trick shots. It's all coming up on College Game Day. Want you to look and see the difference in Mike Elko's effect on Texas A&M. Last year, one-score games, which it seems across college football, if you're good, you win these. If you're not, you lose them. 2-1 so far. Turnover margin has been +3. We're delighted to be joined by the head coach of the Aggies, Mike Elko here.
Hi, baby, Elko.
Been a friend of College Game Day for the last few years. Mike, we just finished talking about the psychology of rivalries. Now, in this one tonight, spot in the SEC championship game at stake. All of the things that go in with the 13-year hiatus. A&M people didn't want Texas to come to the SEC. How do you deal with that in terms of your psychological approach and trying to shield your team from it?
Yeah, I don't know that you could shield your team from it. I think what you're trying to do is get them to focus on the things that are going to allow them to have success tonight. And I think that's the biggest thing we've preached all week, which is if it's not going to help you win the football game, stay away from it, right? And stay locked in on those details, the things that are going to help you go out tonight and have the night that you want to have, because at the end of the day, that's really what this thing's all about.
What's your take on rivalries besides Texas A&M? We were just talking about Coach with Alabama, Auburn, just the magnitude of them, the psychological aspect of them. What's your take on these weekends?
You know, I heard Coach's point, and I think he's dead right. And I think what this one is really unique because you have proximity, which always makes them intense, and then you have proximity and two teams playing for a spot of Atlanta, which really amplifies everything. And so I think when you have two teams that have geographical rivalries and all the people are around each other all year, but then are also fighting for a seat at the top of the conference, it's going to be a little bit special tonight for sure.
Coach, we thank you for stopping by.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad you didn't break the cannon, by the way.
Yeah, it worked. But I had bad vibes about your team tonight because that cannon. And then boys got it right back together. Hey,
that's what they do. That's what Aggies do.
Oh, yeah. We get things done.
Yeah, that's what we're about.
Yeah. Adversity, who cares? We get past it. Now let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Last time we were here, early in the season, obviously you've been defense coordinator, but now you're the head coach for the first time. You lose. What do you know about your team now versus maybe the beginning of the year? And how has this first year as the head ball club coach here been?
Yeah, I know that our team is extremely resilient. I know that we're going to bounce back and we're going to fight whenever we get the opportunity. I think we really rallied together after that opener. Obviously we expected to go out and play a little bit better. We've been through some ups and downs, injuries, quarterback situation, a lot of different things. But our team shows up every Saturday and they're going to put it all out there for sure.
That's your culture. What size hat is this?
Well, so I just won the bet. So the question was, how long was it going to take for you to mention the head size? And I just won $1 million from Pat McAfee.
He hits you every time, every single time.
But show us the DoorDash dashboard.
It's a big brain in there, Reese.
All right, now this young man, the quarterback, has become a big story for your offense here in recent weeks. This is when he got inserted against LSU. They couldn't figure out the zone read, where he's just for people at home. He's simply, Coach, go ahead and tell him what he's looking at here.
Coach, me? I thought you were talking to Coach. He's going to read the defensive end, and he sees the defensive end over squeeze, which gets him out on the perimeter. And obviously the first thing about Marcel is his legs and his athleticism. And so he gets out wide, and once he gets out wide, he's as good as any wide out and running the football.
Great blocking out there on the perimeter, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, help him get into the end zone.
I'm glad you mentioned that. The wide receivers out there blocking on the perimeter.
Yeah, and then this is where I think he's developed. I think as he's gotten more comfortable, that intermediate pass game and the ability to throw accurate throws into tight windows.
Is it, out of curiosity, is he looking at this at all, or is this a predetermined?
No, this is an RPO. So we're reading off the RPO. The running back, if you go back on that, running back does a phenomenal job of coming out of the zone fake and getting over here and picking up the blitzer.
It's a really good job.
Right, that's
there.
a great job. And then he throws an extremely accurate football.
In a tight window, too.
In a really tight window.
And with that safety coming over, he's going to put that on a line.
Yeah, and I think that's where he's gotten more confident in making those throws, right? That's what the great quarterbacks can do. Absolutely. They can anticipate and they can throw it into tight windows.
Yeah, when people play middle of the field coverage like that, the RPOs are great.
Yeah, you have to.
Yep.
And this is going all the way back to the beginning with him, and I think people underestimate his arm talent. And this is a field corner route, and this is one of the hardest throws in the game of football. And he throws this thing on a line.
Yeah. Opposite hash.
From this hash, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a hard throw.
Yeah, and so he puts this thing in a line before the corner can recover. That gives the wideout a chance to make a miss and turns into a big explosive touchdown for us.
Oh, yeah. Mike, just, this game, technically, the matchup in this game that concerns you the most, your team versus their team.
Yeah, I think it goes all the way back to when we played you guys with Sark. It's his ability to create explosives in the play-action game, and our ability to do a really good job defending them. I think they do such a good job of creating variety every week, creating leverage, creating opportunities to get the ball down the field. That's going to be the biggest challenge.
Coach, I looked it up. Your defense is giving up like 13.7 points per game at home.
Yep.
And then it's a bit more on the road.
Yeah.
Why? This place is unbelievable.
12th man.
The best.
The 12th man is the best. I don't know if you've noticed how loud it gets inside Kyle Field, but it's not an easy place to operate for opposing quarterbacks and opposing offenses.
I watched your entrance down the tunnel against LSU.
Yeah.
On your social media team
they did a good job.
I watched that thing probably 1,000 times. I watched it this morning. I get jacked up. I don't know how you don't want to run through a wall.
I do.
I
do.
This
I'm talking about the jerseys, Pat? Is that what I'm talking about? If you have my jersey?
Yeah, they're saying something there. I don't know if you're
excited too. I like that.
I don't know.
If they're not in my jersey, something.
No, I haven't heard it. I don't know anything about that.
We've been down that road a few times this season. We're good there.
Pat's on that road. Pat lives on that road.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Hey, Mike, thanks a lot for being with us. It's always a pleasure. Mike Elko, the head coach of the Aggies, they get set to take on Texas tonight. Now, look, this is a bitter rivalry. And all the things that we've said, all the things that I've said about the intensity, all of those things are true. But ill will, nastiness, that doesn't completely define Texas and Texas A&M. 25 years ago, catastrophic collapse of the iconic Aggie bonfire. 12 Aggies were killed, 27 injured. 20 years ago, the Bonfire Memorial was dedicated on the exact spot of the tragedy, a reminder of a horrific night and a way to honor those who were lost and testimony to the respect, the sympathy, and the love that builds an enduring bond. As tragedy often cruelly reminds us, we have to set our perspectives in order.
It is nearly impossible to believe that something so intense, so bright, so alive can, in an instant, go dark forever. The first Aggie bonfire was lit by the Corps of Cadets in 1907. In the beginning, bonfires were ignited to celebrate any great A&M football victory. But eventually, it became a literal, towering symbol of Texas Week. A wooden skyscraper of fire that could be seen for miles in every direction. An inferno fanned with the hopes of inflaming the kind of momentum that might burn down the burnt orange of the hated Longhorns. For 90 years, the bonfire grew, symbolically and physically. Then, in the early morning hours of November 18, 1999, during construction of the 59-foot tower of lumber, the structure collapsed. 27 Aggies were injured, a dozen were killed. After a week of memorials held from the site of the tragedy all the way to Austin, the Longhorns and Aggies resumed their rivalry at Kyle Field. The 12th man embraced by their greatest rival to honor the 12 fallen.
This is the 106th meeting between these two great rivals, but none has been filled with so much emotion, with the tragic events of the last week so fresh in the minds of everybody here.
When the 24th-ranked Aggies upset the 7th-ranked Horns, it gave the people of College Station permission to be happy again.
An incredible upset here by Texas A&M.
We did it for the people that died supporting us. That's what we did it for.
The Aggie bonfire has remained dark for 25 years. But the spirit of those who believed in it so much will never stop burning.
This time of year, there's one workshop on everyone's mind. The one that spends the whole year making toys and gifts. The Home Depot Kids Workshop, teaching those who will one day build their own homes and communities that doing is a gift you can share with everyone. Happy holidays from the Home Depot.
This holiday, she's not settling for anything less than the Triple Treat Box from Pizza Hut, featuring pizza, breadsticks, and dessert, starting at $19.99.
It's a good deal, bro.
Get the holidays delivered with Pizza Hut.
All right, Tina, 6 is hard to beat.
Not for us.
Okay, not soccer, but
football.
Yes. We honeymooned here.
Mallorca.
Yes. Pass.
No, we don't pass, Tina. Come on.
They help give you more.
A tax professional.
And they have a 97% satisfaction rating.
Salami.
You could have done it in a British accent.
That's helpful, Randy.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
With Tommy John, each morning is the start of a better day. Everything we make is crafted from breathable stretch fabric for the perfect fit, because great days start with great underwear. Go to TommyJohn.com now for up to 40% off site-wide.
Hey, it's me, your very dry skin. I'm uncomfortable and need extra hydration. Developed with dermatologist, new CeraVe Intensive Moisturizing Lotion with innovative hydrourea for intense hydration and 3 essential ceramides helps restore my natural barrier and lock in extra moisture for up to 72 hours of hydration, 99% less itch, and comfort that lasts. New CeraVe Intensive Moisturizing Lotion from the #1 dermatologist recommended skincare brand.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsored jobs on Indeed are 2.5 times faster to first hire. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Rated E to T.
Well, I feel just like a child. Well, I feel just like a child. Well, I feel just like a child. From my womb to my tomb, I guess I'll always be a child.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, getting a bachelor's degree doesn't have to mean starting from scratch. Here, you can earn up to 90 undergraduate credits for relevant experience. What will your next success be?
College Game Day is brought to you by Geico. Check out College Game Day on social to get more fan cam action.
So Midnight Yell is a great tradition here at Texas A&M, but yesterday was midnight someplace. It was 5:30 Yell because they wanted Elko and the Aggies to be able to come and experience it as they try to get everybody ready to saw the varsity's horns off.
Yep, Bevo, see ya.
You see, when it's dark like this is the first night road game Texas has had in the SEC this year. Have a look at this. Home Depot Game Day tailgate built by Doers, Chad and Darla Wooten. What do you got there? Hey, there's banana pudding in there, Desmond. Come on now, let's go. I don't know if it's actually in the grill, but it's coming. Why you would do that?
Have a smoky flavor to it.
Michigan and Ohio State squaring off. The Wolverines have won the last three, had a tough season. 6-5 overall, but Michigan unafraid. Coming in perhaps without a couple of stars. Stammel's going to keep us up to date on Colston Loveland and also Will Johnson. But whether they're able to go, Johnson doesn't appear to be able to go. They're going to kick things off 14 minutes after noon there. You flash back, 1969. Woody had put 50 on him the year before, and a new coach, Glenn Bo Schembechler, took over. An old 27, Don Moorhead at quarterback, leading the Wolverines down. This is an Ohio State team that was trying to win the national championship because they couldn't go back to the Rose Bowl. This is a de facto championship
1968, 69, and 70. Those 3 years, they lost just a couple games. That was one of them right there.
They won as a 17-point underdog, did Michigan. Ruined things for Ohio State. 1993, Ohio State was undefeated. Number 5 in the country. Michigan won 28-0. This was a 4-loss Michigan team, but they were still a slight favorite at home. Brett Powers had a tough day, threw 3 interceptions. Bobby Hoying played most of that game. This cost the Buckeyes a Rose Bowl and cost them pretty much everything. 1995, they said, well, that 93 team, they weren't as good as the 95 team. Ohio State, number 2 in the country, undefeated. Shamunga Biaka-Batuka.
What?
Touchdown, Tim.
Tim Biaka-Batuka became a first-round draft pick after this game right here. He went off on Ohio State. Very talented team. Eddie George won the Heisman Trophy this year, 1995. Ohio State thought they were going to win a national championship until they went to Ann Arbor that year. You know, Charles Woodson, right there as a freshman with a pick.
Biaka-Batuka went for 313, outdueling the eventual Heisman Trophy winner Eddie George in that game, almost tripling his yardage output. They won 31-23 and cost Ohio State once again, something that they would love to do here. Now, Michigan won those 2 games in the 90s, despite not throwing for more than 140 yards in either game. 4 interceptions. They control the line of scrimmage, and as Jen Latta joins us right now, probably the formula for Davis Warren, and this is far from the greatest challenge he's faced.
Yeah, that's right, Reese. You know, for as long as the game of football has been being played, little kids have been looking up to quarterbacks. Michigan quarterback Davis Warren always hoped his play would have an impact, but he had no idea how much his perseverance would inspire.
What's up, Hudson? This is Davis Warren, quarterback for the University of Michigan football team. I really just want to reach out as a guy who's kind of been through it and came out the other side.
Michigan quarterback Davis Warren knows what it's like to fight and overcome, and how quickly life can change.
People just kind of gravitated to him. Here I have this super healthy kid on a great path, and your world just is completely turned upside down.
In March of 2019, Davis says he began feeling tired and weak. After a series of tests, the then 17-year-old was diagnosed with leukemia, a cancer of the blood and bone marrow. He began chemotherapy treatments immediately.
Lost probably 25 to 30 pounds pretty quickly. The worst part of going through cancer is just the way you lose that sense of self. You really do ask yourself, what does that mean for me and who I am as a person? You ask those questions of, man, like, am I even gonna make it? Am I gonna survive? Like, am I gonna get through this?
After 5 months of treatment, Davis was deemed cancer-free on August 12, 2019. And on October 4th, he was back on the high school football field for his junior season. But when he arrived at Michigan as a walk-on in 2021, he says he was reluctant to share that part of his past.
I think he wanted to be accepted, and he wanted to be known as a quarterback and as a leader and a football player first. He didn't want to be known as a kid with leukemia.
I wanted nothing to do with the hospital or cancer. I didn't want anyone to know. But then when I got to Michigan, my story started to get out a little bit. People were reaching out to me saying, hey, you know, my son or daughter or grandson is going through something similar to what you went through. You mind like setting up a video?
That fall, Davis began making regular trips to the University of Michigan Health C.S. Mott Children's Hospital to visit kids fighting cancer like he once was.
I think he realized, wow, these kids are so excited to meet me, and I would have loved to have someone like this in the hospital.
For me to look at them in the eye and say, hey, I've been in your position. I went through this. I could see how much of a difference that made.
One of those kids was Michigan fan Hudson Gazy, who was diagnosed with leukemia 2 years ago when he was 5.
It was like they were best buddies, like they had known each other forever. It was something I hadn't really seen before in Hudson.
Throughout Hudson's treatment, the two have talked regularly, with Davis even visiting Hudson at home and attending one of his baseball games.
It's just been an honor to get to know him and be there for him when he needed me. It's grown into a full-on friendship.
It showed Hudson that he can do it, that if a kid like Davis could get through it, that he could too.
In what way did being friends with Davis make you feel better?
Knowing that I had the best friend that was a college football player and a nice person who went through it with me.
2 weeks ago, Hudson was deemed cancer-free, and his family threw him a no more chemo party.
There was like over 100 people there.
Hudson, Hudson.
I ran to the tunnel. And then I got to play football and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all my teachers were there.
And so was Davis Warren.
And I was so excited. I ran and gave him a big hug.
Hudson felt like the coolest kid ever to have the starting quarterback of the University of Michigan at his no more chemo party, throwing passes, hanging out with the kids.
Being able to show them that, like, hey, cancer can be a part of your journey without defining who you are, that's a really special thing. It's been just so gratifying and made me feel like my journey was worth it 1,000 times over.
All right, so Hudson and Davis's stories, guys, well, they have a happy ending, but not all of them do. Just 2 weeks ago, one of Davis's good friends, Jake Stromsborg, a baseball player from California, lost his 5-year battle with cancer. So Davis wrote Jake's name on his wristband before the Northwestern game, a big win for Michigan. And Davis told me that Jake never gave up. He fought until the very end. And he said he takes that attitude into every game for the Michigan Wolverines. Reese?
Jen, thank you very much. Certainly great class and inspiration from Davis Warren, who has been through a ton, and he'll lead the Wolverines into the horseshoe to take on the Buckeyes and Ryan Day. It's been well documented. Ryan Day has been dominant in all aspects. The Michigan series over the last 3 years have resulted in 3 losses, something that they are hoping to turn around today, and we are pleased to go to Columbus right now as AT&T keeps us connected with the head coach of the Buckeyes, Ryan Day, who joins us from the field. Ryan, we spent a lot of time this morning talking about rivalry games, and we were with you last week before the Indiana game. You talked about how the first order of business is to win this rivalry game. Given the fact that they have nothing to lose here, how has that impacted psychological approach that you've taken for this game?
Well, we work this game every day out of the year, so everything we do is leading up to this point. So the focus has just been on our process this week. You know, regardless of what's going on in the past, that's nothing to do with what's going on in this game, what's going on this week. It's been a focus on the process and making sure that we're in the moment right now. We've got to get out to a fast start and certainly take care of the ball early on and then get into the rhythm of the game. But this is all about right now with this team where we need to be.
Coach, we can't thank you enough for joining us. We know you got a 12-14 kickoff there against Michigan, so thank you for taking time out of your morning to chit-chat with us. You know, at the end of last week's game against Indiana, you know, Travion Henderson slides down, then you say, nah, we're scoring another touchdown here. You know, a lot of people in Indiana were upset about it, but I personally loved it. I think you were sending a message to your team. Do you feel like your team has a different edge to it this year, and how do you think that bodes in this massive rivalry game?
Well, we got to play with an edge all the time. That's just the way the game of football is played. It's played with physicality. This game is always played with physicality. It's going to be a war. It always is a war. And that's the way we always have to play in this game. And that's the way we practice this week. And that's the way our team's going to play today.
So, Ryan, how do you feel about the line of scrimmage? Because historically, this game has gotten decided, especially recently, about who had the most yards rushing, which is kind of old-fashioned football for this day and age. How do you feel about the line of scrimmage, your team versus their team, especially with Michigan's really good front on defense?
Yeah, they have an excellent front on defense. So, we got to do a great job early on of, making sure we're getting off the ball, and we have a good plan for that. Keep an eye on the matchups, how that's going on both sides of the ball. But like you said, this game is won in the trenches. It's won up front. I like our plan going in. Now we got to go execute it.
Hey, Ryan, it's Kirk. Just talk a little bit, if you can, about Will Howard and his approach all year and what you've seen from him this week and what you need to see from him in this game as far as the execution of the game plan.
Yeah, the first off is what he's done all year long, and that's been a leader, just leading the team. He just, you feel his energy, you feel his command of the game, you feel his toughness in the run game. And that's going to be a big part of it. But like you said, he's got to execute. It's just one thing to lead. You got to go execute at a high level. We got to do that today. And a big part of that's in the protection and, the wide out, spacing things out against zone and winning versus man-to-man. And then we got to make those plays on third down in the red zone. And that's what's going to take to win it.
Coach, thanks for joining us again. It was good seeing you last week. I noticed last week, Caleb Downs, he returned a punt for a touchdown. Talk about your special teams and how are you moving to this phase of the season, how important special teams are.
Yeah, we made a move a couple weeks ago and moved some personnel around to give us an advantage. We felt like we needed to do that, especially down the home stretch here to give us an edge, in the field position or steal a possession. So we're going to need that today. Every yard is worth 2 or 3 in this game, as you guys know. So we got to do a great job on special teams. I think we have the right guys out there. So now we got to go execute the plan.
Ryan, wish you luck. Thank you so much for doing this. Know it's a big morning, and we appreciate the time. Good luck today.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, Ryan Day, head coach of the Buckeyes. I think one of the fascinating things is at the end of the game, if Ohio State wins, which is the more prevalent emotion? Will it be joy or relief? Might be relief. I would be relieved if I just got this athletic trivia question.
Oh,
right
this is an easy one.
This is an easy one?
You get it every week.
I don't get it every week.
Sharon Moore's first time going to Columbus as head coach of Michigan. Who was the last Michigan Aflac trivia question? Who was the last Michigan head coach to win in their first trip to Columbus?
Lloyd Carr.
Bang.
Yeah.
96.
Had to be Carr, bro. Had to be Carr, man.
Way to help out.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good fist bump, too.
Yeah, we got that. One of you guys knew it. I do that.
Finally.
I'm just waiting to see.
Yeah, I was giving you a shot.
I like that we treat that as a team thing. Like, yeah, we got another one.
We got another one. We got another one. That's right. We got the ball to 4. He made a play. That's right.
He's running on films over there.
There are times when we're 5 guys, 5 caps up here, but I digress. Let's check in on this week's Home Depot Tour of the Week. Danny Fleming, Atex Restoration in Midland, Texas. Glad to have him with us. What a morning here in College Station. Canes can quench the title game simply by winning in Syracuse. But, it's the battle of the nation's top 2 passers, and Miami doesn't have the number 1 guy. Dude Perfect, Corso's headgear. He'll be our celebrity guest pickers on College Game.
It's Ma calling and Kappa. I'm leaving a message.
Hi, baby girl. Just want to say I love you.
Have yourself a good time. Granny love you and she miss you.
Just remember to take a deep breath, honey.
Happy New Year.
I love you more than you'll ever know. I would love to keep in touch a little more. Bye, honey.
Hey, Grandma.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
A Chewy order is en route for Monkey, who loves to climb. So Mom uses Chewy to save 60% and get exclusive deals through Cyber Monday on toys that keep Monkey good and grounded. For low prices, for holidays with pets, there's Chewy.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Alrighty. Who's ready for my famous charred duck?
Like, to check the mascot first before bringing food to a tailgate.
Took this baby.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Everyone knows good things come in threes, like our Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99. Maybe the saying should be good things come in 1999s. Maybe not. The Dave & Buster's Eat, Drink, and Play combo for just $19.99.
If you still haven't heard about Mott & Bow's jeans, you are missing out. Mott & Bow is the #1 premium denim company in comfort and style. Their jeans have dynamic stretch technology to provide absolute flexibility and make them perfect for everyday wear. The denim comes from some of the best denim mills in the world, so their jeans look great and last a very long time. They are probably the most comfortable jeans you'll ever wear. Head on over to mottandbow.com for the perfect balance of fit, style, and comfort.
Why just give a gift when you can give a gift with meaning? Shutterfly, make something that means something.
Enjoy 40% off your order with code GIFTS40. Order now for holiday delivery.
A Krispy Kreme truck on its way to McDonald's can only mean one thing. Fresh donuts are closer than you think.
Get a free coffee or soft drink with the purchase of a Krispy Kreme donut, only in the app.
Changes in the air. It's a new era, new team-ups, new stages set. Whose time is it? We'll see. This isn't last season. Nah.
Puts up a three-pointer.
This time is different. Changes in the air. This isn't last season. This time, it's different.
Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, Saquon versus King Henry. Who has the edge in a huge Eagles-Ravens showdown?
Saquon, slow your down. He's a hell of a player, man.
And we go behind the curtain with actor Bijan Robinson.
I almost missed this because of my NFL career.
Kick off your Sunday with us. NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Reese, let's go back to you in College Station.
3M reliably informed that Bijan Robinson works with McConaughey. 101, Minister of Culture, mentor to actors.
Wow.
There you go. Monday Night Football, Joe and Troy in Denver, taking on Myles Garrett and Jameis Winston. You got that? You also have
Bo Nix.
Broncos taking on the Browns.
What a year he's having.
Telling you. Wheels up. Celebrity guest picker. They make sure they get here. Dude Perfect just walked through the area here to a rousing ovation. Look
You
forward
could
to having that.
feel their aura coming through. That's because they're perfect, brother.
Dude Perfect. Dude. Noon Eastern time on ABC, Tennessee. As DoorDash counting us down to kickoff. Volunteers taking on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt might be out of steam a little bit here. It's almost as if, Vanderbilt might be yawning. At this point.
It's contagious.
Who is yawning?
It's contagious.
He's not yawning.
No, sir.
Big Ten and the SEC Invitational. He's still trying to get an invite.
You think Dabo was watching that Georgia Tech game last night, rooting like
just a little bit,
rooting like crazy for the Yellow Jackets?
The SEC.
He won't be rooting for Georgia Tech nearly as hard as he'll be rooting for Syracuse today against Miami, because if Syracuse plays knock off Miami,
place gets loud in a big game.
Yeah, this is what would happen if Syracuse were to pull the upset. Clemson would go to the ACC championship game against SMU for a spot in the college football playoff. If Miami wins, they go on to take on SMU. SMU in its first year in the ACC, and here they are with a chance to play for the ACC championship. They play Cal today, but they're in either way. Who's the best team in the ACC right now?
Well, I think tonight you could learn a little bit more about that. I mean, Miami with the quarterback, everybody seems to think Cam Ward gives him that edge. I like Miami. I just think this is a tricky game for them before they automatically punch their ticket to Charlotte for the ACC championship game. It has everything to do with Kyle McCord and the group of receivers that he has. Trevor Pena, Jackson Meeks, Orlando Gatson, the tight end. It's a lot of weapons for him to spread the football around. Coach, we talked earlier. I think we both see this as a potential shootout. I think Syracuse can score with Miami, and I think it's going to come down ultimately who avoids that critical mistake in the fourth quarter. But Cuse will be tough to beat at home.
Yeah, this could be one of those who gets the ball last type things. But I really don't think there's a dominant team in the ACC.
Right.
SMU probably has the team that's playing the best complementary football since Kevin Jennings, took over as quarterback. They're undefeated. They're pretty good on defense. So I think they, even though they don't have the big name that some of these other schools have, they may be the real best team in the ACC.
If by chance, maybe you guys all hop in on this. If by chance Miami or Clemson or whoever beats SMU in Charlotte, has SMU done enough to give the ACC two teams? Do you think SMU would still get in?
Where they've been ranking SMU is outside.
I'm not worried about the ranking. I'm worried about you guys. Just what you guys think. Do you think if Miami or Syracuse were to beat SMU,
I would default to Marissa.
Would two go from the ACC?
No, you can't default to Marissa because he's asking you what you think should happen. Should they be in?
It depends on what happens.
I like them in. Put them in. Georgia Tech took Georgia to 8-0
in the Big 12. What happens in the SEC? It's just not one clear path if they beat, if they lose the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these other teams, they factor into the equation too, right?
So I'll answer what I think then, because I think enough damage has been done to the SEC.
Yes.
And I think what Georgia Tech did last night, I think what Clemson will do against South Carolina, I think the door is wide open for the ACC to get two in no matter who loses in Charlotte.
I thought that was very interesting what you said. You just said Georgia Tech took Georgia to 8 overtimes. Georgia's played this tough schedule. Everybody's been talking about strength of schedule.
Yeah.
But some of this can also be with these other ACC, SEC matchups today. South Carolina, if Clemson beats South Carolina.
So Clemson could, but I think the issue with Clemson is they got a banged-up offensive line taking on that South Carolina D-line, which is always the conversation about SEC versus anybody else. So it's like the ACC can make a massive statement today with the Clemson win.
Absolutely.
I think SMU's team behind running back Rashard Smith, I think they are great. Defense is great. I think SMU deserves a spot all year.
Well, I tell you what, listen, I visited with Miami a couple of days ago, and these guys are locked in. Mario has these guys focused. I know it's going to be a tough game, especially when you look at Miami's defense going up against Gasson. Even people in Miami talked about how Gasson, he's labeled a tight end, but he's a weapon. So they know they're going to have their hands full with that Syracuse passing game. But I just think that Miami has some time to try to get that defense together. But Cam Ward, these guys are focused. They know what the opportunity is and what the obstacle is in the way of them accomplishing what they want to accomplish. I think they're locked in. They'll beat Syracuse. Tight game, tough game, but I think the Canes will win.
You know, what I think is interesting about this is some teams are gaining momentum at the end of the season. Like South Carolina, I know they're playing Clemson, but they're playing some of the best football they've played all season long and have some big games and really showing up to be one of the best teams around right now compared to other teams in the SEC. But these 3-loss teams, they're going to have to hope and pray if they don't win the championship.
South Carolina's quarterback, too. Sellers is playing.
And that defensive line.
Now.
Yeah, he's playing. The defensive line's been great. Couple of things about this, though. South Carolina is the only one of those 3-loss SEC teams that hasn't laid an absolute egg. And of all the damage that's been done to the SEC, not much by the ACC.
I'm with you.
2-6 going into the day.
That's right.
We'll see. Of course, one of them was 8 overtimes. Or it'd be 3 and 5, and it sounded like different.
What Coach is saying about if South Carolina wins against Clemson.
No, I know. Yeah.
That's going to be a strong resume.
I think they're going to,
even with those
help
3
them a lot.
losses.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they got a shot.
Take into consideration Sellers being hurt. Some Friday night lights.
And they're going to get it right.
Yep. We believe. Well,
no matter
at some
what.
point, you can't. Stanford and San Jose State. Remember, Stanford lost that lead against Cal. San Jose State has that prolific passing attack. And in the last 2 minutes, the Spartans of Ken Niumatalolo, and what a job he did this year with San Jose State, 34-31. And see, people thinking about hiring coaches from the academies, he didn't run the triple option.
Exactly.
There you go. Stanford, by the way, finishes 3-9. Pete Thamel, you've broken some news that the Cardinal hope will turn their fortune.
Yeah, Reese, it's been 4 straight 3-9 seasons for Stanford, and they're bringing in Andrew Luck to help change their fortunes. Luck told me yesterday he's going to come on as Stanford's general manager, and this is a unique and innovative role unlike anything we've seen in college football. Luck is going to be above the org chart of Stanford football. The coaching staff is going to report to him. He's going to manage business aspects of the program like recruiting, like fundraising. So this is something we've never seen before. It gives Stanford an energy jolt, bringing back the best face of the last generation. I think the question that's going to loom, Reese, here is, will other schools follow? Obviously, the college model, the head coach has all the power. And this is just a very different way for Stanford to approach things as we enter the rev share model that's expected to start in 2025. I don't see head coaches like Kirby Smart and Lincoln Riley giving up their power, but ADs are going to see this as an attractive model, Reese.
Unless, of course, then the ADs start answering to the football general manager, too, which could happen. And the new general manager of Stanford football, the great Andrew Luck, is here now. So, Andrew, Pete just sort of laid out what the org chart looks at, what the responsibilities look like. From an interpersonal dynamic with a coach having someone over him, handling all these things, how do you see this being executed at Stanford?
Yeah, well, I can't wait to work with Coach Taylor and the staff and the guys on the team. He's got the team pointed in the right direction, and we've been close. We've been close for a couple years. I had the chance to be on the hiring committee for him. And as everybody knows in this game, it takes a team to go out and win. It is hard to win football games, and I think we're putting the right team together.
Andrew, I'm going to speak for everybody in the football world. It is great to see you back as a face of big-time football.
It is.
We miss you in Indianapolis. We miss you in the football world. I'm so pumped that this is happening. Now, obviously, your dad has run some sports programs. Obviously, you are a phenomenal leader. I got to witness that in Indianapolis. Do you have a vision of what this team's going to look like? And how hands-on are you actually going to be with the team day-to-day leadership-wise?
Oh, absolutely. I imagine this being very hands-on. And yeah, we do have a vision. We absolutely have a vision. And, you know, I think we are under no illusion about the landscape of college sports as well. I believe deeply in the unique value proposition of Stanford and Stanford athletics. It's the greatest athletic department. It's the most successful athletic department in the country. We're excited for football to do its part at the home of champions. But we're looking for the best and brightest. I think we got a lot of them. We're looking for tough kids. And we will be competitive in recruiting and retaining the best talent out there.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew, I'd love to ask you about XOs, like actually being involved in what not only who's on the roster, but will you roll up the sleeves and get involved in the film room and actually looking at the team and what you think could help this team, or will you stay out of that?
Oh, absolutely. Well, Coach Taylor's domain. I mean, Coach Taylor is an innovative. He's a forward thinker. He's had incredible success everywhere he's been. I think he thinks about the offensive side of of our game in a unique and intriguing way. So I'm excited to bring some value there. And yeah, I am excited to be back in football. It's the greatest game in our country. I love it. College football is amazing. It's cool to see you guys in my old neck of the woods down just outside of Houston. Pat, don't step on the grass in College Station. I learned that real quick as a middle school kid. And I'm excited to get in with Coach Taylor and get working on this.
Andrew, you're the best player that I've ever seen put on the Stanford uniform. You're the best leader I've ever seen in that uniform. You have been super casual with your attire. I was just wondering what that business casual attire is going to look like with you now. You look good with the Stanford shirt on, though. I will say that.
Thank you, Stanford, Steve. You know, I wanted to have a legacy like Plunkett, like LA. And, you know, it's the West Coast, baby. I had to come west for some bigger and better things, and a casual attire is part of this vibe.
You're a suit now, Luck. You're a suit. You're a suit, brother.
Andrew, congratulations. Look forward to seeing all of the good fortune ahead for Stanford football, I'm sure. Great to have you with us. Congratulations.
Great work. Congrats.
All right,
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, y'all.
There is Andrew Luck. These Aggies, I don't know how they let him get out of the state. I mean, how did that happen?
His dad was running the Houston Dynamo down here.
Yeah, he runs everything.
Yeah.
He ran West Virginia for a while.
Yeah, got us in the Big 12.
Yeah. Steve Sarkisian joins the show live. Coming up, more from Michigan and Ohio State as the Buckeyes try to put a stop to this 3-game slide and win their way into the Big Ten championship game. Of course, there's enough of this game that matters for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Can they split the uprights? First week here, week 1, Pat gave away money. $150,000 if they can hit it.
I think a dude is trying to kick a ball as well. Don't want to give it too much away, but a dude is trying to kick, and that'll certainly up the jackpot. It's great to be back in College Station.
So don't go anywhere. Find out if we can give away some more money. Going to liven up this crowd again. Going to have them saw Varsity's horns off or something. College Game Day rolls on after a quick word from Buffalo Wild Wing.
Are we doing the jumbo?
So I like honey barbecue. You like honey barbecue. I like football. I think you like football. We're like the brothers we never had.
No, I have a brother.
But does he have time for you?
I guess he doesn't.
Yeah, because I feel like he'd be here if he did.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
Drawing the most flavor out of something is a nuanced process. And if that doesn't work, deep fry it until it tastes delicious. Arby's, we have the meat.
What is it? The bus is leaving in 5 minutes.
All right, fine, I'll be out in a second.
You scared the gigabytes out of me.
I scared you.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. 100 innovative companies, 1 ETF.
I think I might have oiled myself.
Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Struggling with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis? Talk to your doctor about #1 prescribed Entyvio, offering 2 maintenance options, including the Entyvio pen. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, or are prone to infections. Liver problems can occur. Entyvio, relief, remission for real.
Entyvio, Entyvio, Entyvio.
What is sport? It's more than training at dawn and drills after dark. It goes beyond the gym, through city streets, and on to the stage. Sport inspires. It entertains and challenges. So ask yourself, is this sport? Yeah, even that. Sport is everywhere, for everyone. Sport is everything.
fuel your fandom. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official partner of the NCAA.
If you're feeling out of step with your current big wireless plan, switch to Consumer Cellular. All the dips is the price. Ow, ow, ow. Storm. With plans starting at just $20, it's easy to switch to Consumer Cellular.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
We topped off the new Sonic Smasher you love with our creamy queso. With hand-smashed patties made to order, it's a cheesy love letter to your taste buds, and they're about to get real emotional. The new Double Sonic Queso Smasher, part of our Smasher lineup.
Beautiful football morning in College Station. They're out here by the thousands. Official capacity in Kyle Field is a little over 102,700. They're expecting 109,000 plus. There's a ranking member of the Corps of Cadets, Lady Reveille, joining us here this morning. They anticipate the renewal of the rivalry between Texas and Texas A&M. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Road tested, game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is for driven. I would imagine that there will be some signs here that, just a chill guy. My son just talked about this whole meme thing about this chill guy situation here. I've known about Snoopy and pulling the ball away with Lucy and Charlie Brown for a while. Upside down horns. Indiana, yes, meaning taking a shot at the schedule. Horns down, plenty of that. In the SEC, nobody gets mad about that. But you raise the arms, and Lucas raised the arms for splitting the uprights. Week 1 in College Station, $150 grand. Pat here is having a bigger jackpot this time around, my friend.
Yeah, and congrats to old buddy. He's starting the season off in a very expensive manner, but this field goal kicking contest has certainly taken on a life of its own. We've been able to raise a ton of money. We've been able to showcase that kicking is not easy, and we've had magical people stop by. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, you're talking about 5 Texas A&M alumni who have changed the world forever. Dude Perfect is here. And the person that won the raffle this morning, Payne Barksdale. Now, Payne, you're from College Station, Texas, but you're a senior at the Air Force Academy. Why'd you come today? Are you a massive Aggie fan still?
Oh, yes, sir. My family moved here 5 years ago. I feel like I live vicariously through y'all, so I'm glad to be part of Game Day experience.
Well, thank you for your service. Congrats on winning the raffle. It's for $150,000, but I will let you know, it could be worth $250,000.
Why do you say that, Pat?
Well, you know, the twins, Purple Hoser, the tall guy, and the beard, Ty, will be attempting a field goal today. And if you make it, I will add an extra $100,000 to the pot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So kind.
But if we miss, DP's putting up $100,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are. Yeah. That's the benefit of 5 guys.
You are, yeah.
Just 20 a person. It's fine. 20 a person.
He didn't warm up at all today.
Now, to be clear, just go ahead and search Dude Perfect Wealth. They're doing just fine. And they started here at Texas A&M. I appreciate you guys joining us. Obviously, we will match the full jackpot of $250,000 to give back to Texas A&M charities and hurricane relief. But is it 150? Is it 250? Is it from me? Is it from you? Let's see how it goes. Ty, let's go ahead and give this thing a go.
Come on, baby. Come on. Get your money.
I gotta get the leg warm. I gotta need the leg warm.
I don't want to give to charity. Come on, Ty.
I don't want to give to charity.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said.
Tall guy.
See, I do want to give to charity.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'm here so people can appreciate kickers more because it is hard.
Hell yeah,
hard,
Tyler.
Pat. Let's go.
Let's go, babe.
Are you giving me the usual Kirky lean here?
Yeah, I'm going to give you the lead.
Okay.
Here we go.
Good luck. Okay. These are tied, right?
Tyler, Tyler, before you go here,
Oh, he's freezing
just
him.
want to have a conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What do you want to know?
Your entire trick shot monopoly empire
Yeah.
basically started with a basketball throw from Kyle Field, right?
It did. It did, like 14 years ago. Yeah.
And is that the first big one?
That was the first one that went viral. We started in the backyard just south of here, about a mile, over 15 years ago. Yeah.
And then now you guys are about to have like amusement parks and potentially make a 33-yard field goal on college game day. You've been able to accomplish everything, so many world records, but today, are you going to put up 100,000 or me? That right foot finds out.
Yeah. I got a feeling we may be putting up 100,000, Pat. If I had to shoot you straight.
I hope so. Cameras are out everywhere.
Come on, Ty. You got this, buddy. Come on, dude. Come on. This is what he does. He's a gamer.
Let's go, Ty.
What a moment ago.
All right, now, brother, listen.
You just knew Ty was going to
Hey, just real quick.
The timeout helped.
I know you. Dude. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now,
Come on,
Payne.
Payne, let's go, baby.
Come on, Payne.
Come on, Payne.
You can do whatever the hell you want, Payne. Just kick it hard. $250,000 of my money because the Dude Perfect boys are sandbaggers. They told me he had no chance of making it, but now it's all up to you. Good luck, Payne.
Get it! Come on, baby. Come on.
Is there anything Ty is not great at?
No, it's hard.
It's like everything.
You should have seen the practice kicks at the office.
Dude.
It got ugly.
No, that was the sandbagging that I was referring to. I get a text.
It's everything.
50-50 at best. That was pure, brother.
That was close.
That would have got over offensive line. Now, Payne.
Oh.
$250,000. You're going to serve the United States of America whenever you're done with the Air Force Academy. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Come on, Payne.
Let's go, Payne. Let's go, Payne. Put too much pressure on me now.
No, Payne, you're the right guy to be doing that for America, and you're the right guy to be kicking for $250,000. Kirk, you have any final thoughts for Payne here?
You sure you want to wear your hat? You feeling the hat? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Come on.
Yeah.
CTE before I
You got
kick this thing.
Just hit it as hard as you can. Don't be afraid of it.
Let it go, brother.
Aim at the right upright.
You got that Jesus sign there.
Everyone misses left.
Everyone misses left. Come on, dude.
Come on, Payne.
You got this. You got this. You got this.
Let's go, baby.
Come on.
Start the kick. Start the kick. We'll still donate $250,000. We can't. He almost killed a guy. He almost killed a guy.
Yeah, he took a head off.
Keep that on.
Here, let's go one more.
Do we have any more?
One more. Yeah, let's go one more. Let's go one more.
He's got the velocity. He's got the
You got it.
Payne.
You got this.
Payne. You almost brought the pain to that guy's face right there. We got cops there.
This camera's in play. Everything's in play.
Payne, this is the last one. Payne, this is the last one.
You got this.
This is the last one. I don't want to put too much added pressure on you, so we're going to relieve some. We're going to donate $250,000 anyways. So this is just for your bank account, okay? But let's make it $500,000.
No pressure.
For your bank account.
This guy's crazy.
You're sick, dude.
This is sick. This is sick.
What? The pressures of a kicker, brother.
Hey, you got it right where you want him. Hey. Right where you want him. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Come on, baby.
Kick it. Come on.
No chance.
Make him feel the pain.
Thank you for your service to America later, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you to the dudes. Kirk, great hold. Stanford Steve says no good 2 times.
Right. You
but we're
got it
still right. Way right. We'll still donate $250,000. Back to you, Reese. What a time.
And Pat, Dude Perfect, after splitting the uprights, will be our celebrity guest picker coming up in just a little bit. You know, at Texas A&M, they revere structure, tradition, order. precision, respect for the chain of command. It's embodied by the Corps of Cadets. Texas, on the other hand, well, they revel in keeping Austin weird. Hipsters, new music, ministers of culture from the celebrity world. These two share a state, but they are nowhere near each other in state of mind. Figuratively, they are worlds apart, but literally, if you drew a line from College Station to Austin, it would cover about 108 miles. And right smack dab in the middle is Giddings, Texas, the epicenter of Hook'em versus Gig'em.
Is rivalry week. That's right, all is right now in the state of Texas. It's been 13 years, but the Texas A&M game is back.
Giddings, we're a small town. You're an hour away from Austin, an hour away from College Station. I would say we're pretty close to 50-50. Longhorns and Aggies.
The week of that game, only thing that A&M and Texas fans are going to have in common is they're going to eat at the city meat market, but they're going to sit separate.
We have been friends for a very long time. We hunt together, we fish together, we agree most of the time.
We've gotten along very well since 2011, the last time that the Aggies and the Longhorns met on a football field.
It's a really storied history. It's a long rivalry, dating back to the late 1800s.
I have memories of Johnny Lamb Jones, Earl Campbell running over A&M.
In the mid-'80s and early '90s, A&M had the advantage in that rivalry. You had the Jackie Sherrill and R.C. Slocum era and players like Dat Wynn and Ray Childress.
The year Ricky Williams was chasing that record and it came down to the A&M game.
Ricky Williams is within 63 yards of Tony Dorsett's all-time rushing record.
Based on my track record against the Aggies, I knew I had a pretty good chance of getting it.
Hello, record book! Ricky Williams runs to the Hall of Fame, cuts back. Ricky Williams, touchdown!
When I think of my time at Texas, there is no Ricky Williams Heisman Trophy winner. There's none of that without the Aggies.
I can go back to one for sure. The most prominent here for the Longhorns.
This rivalry is coming to an end because of arrogance, insecurity, stubbornness, ego, and short-sightedness.
We knew it was going to be the last matchup, so we knew it meant a lot. We were able to take the lead inside 2 minutes. Just feeling really good about where we're at that point, but they get the ball back.
I think they're going to get a personal foul on the Aggies.
What? Why?
Come on.
Why?
Yeah, terrible call.
To get flagged for that in that moment with everything on the line was really unbelievable. They really kind of kick-started the drive for them.
How appropriate is this, ending this rivalry, when you've got it coming down to a walk-off kick? They will talk about that in this state for years and years.
I remember Justin Tucker coming out. I remember just being on the sideline, just hoping and praying that he was going to miss it.
The final play of the rivalry. Good snap and hold. Tucker's kick is up. Justin's kick is good! It's good! And the Texas Longhorns have won the final rivalry matchup with Texas A&M.
That game encapsulated the frustration that the Aggies had always felt at the hands of the Longhorns. Somehow, Texas always found a way to get the last word on them.
This is the 119th meeting.
Ernie was at the first game.
It'll probably be pretty rowdy. There'll probably be a lot of trash talking. It'll be intense. There's a lot of passionate fans around here.
If the Aggies win, they're probably not going to talk about anything else for like the next year or two or 10 years.
I guess it comes down to I've always hated the Aggies, but I love my neighbors.
I love all my TU friends. However, when we wake up on that morning of the game, they're not my friends.
All these other schools, they do a rivalry. Texas and Texas A&M, that's a feud. That is a Hatfield and a McCoy. They're going to go at it. Whoever loses this game, mark my word, it's going to be a rough Christmas.
Most notable guy I could find from Giddings has played in this rivalry. Former Aggie and NFL running back Thomas Sanders went 2-2 on the field. Steve Sarkisian's going to experience this rivalry, leading the Horns in there tonight. And Steve Sarkisian joins us now. as the Longhorns get set for this showdown against the Aggies tonight. Sark, first of all, thanks for your patience. I know you've been sitting there for a few minutes while we've gotten a little bit behind the chains here. We appreciate that. As a guy who appreciates the history of this sport and the rivalry, what's the significance in your mind of Texas and Texas A&M being back in play?
Well, I think it's great that it's back in play. And first of all, guys, thanks for having me on. But, you know, in this era of college football, of realignment and NIL and expanded college football playoffs, and people talking about rivalries, you know, not happening anymore, and conferences aren't the same as they used to be. You know, for us, this has been tremendous. You know, we gained 2 rivalries back. You know, we got to play at Arkansas a couple weeks ago, which is a historic rivalry here at the University of Texas, and then obviously getting the A&M rivalry back. Our 2 rivalries, obviously, that are near and dear to a lot of hearts here in the state of Texas. And this one, more importantly than any, is, you know, divides the state. Houses are divided. All eyes are on the state of Texas today, that's for sure.
Well, you know, Sark, you know, this is a tough place to play. We came out here together in, I think, 2019, and they're piping the noise in, and there's 109,000 people going crazy. But after all that, what are the keys to the game? We always need keys to the game. And what's the keys to the game for your team in this one?
Well, I think this, you know, I think naturally, you know, they definitely rely on the crowd. And what we've got to do is focus on what we need to do. So I think our poise and composure, one, is imperative. I think physicality is important tonight, and then execution. You know, that to me is how you win football games. So, but we definitely have to have great poise and composure in the arena. We got to play a physical brand of football, and we've got to execute in all 3 phases.
Coach, these people hate you guys here. I
had no idea. I learned a lot about this rivalry. There it is.
Yeah. They're all about it. What have you told your team, you know, because this is going to be the first big one at night in the SEC. What have you told them about what they're walking into for this particular rivalry?
I think the key to the drill is you kind of need to embrace the hate. It needs to fuel you. And it's okay to be the villain, and we're the villain in this movie this week.
Okay.
All right. Sark, the defending a mobile quarterback. You guys have had this experience. You went against Vandy, you went against Arkansas. You've seen it all year. Just talk about the challenges and maybe some of the talent you have on that side of the football to be able to be equipped to deal with Marcel Reed, not just his legs, but also his, you know, dealing with him throwing the football downfield vertically.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can get lost in just mobile quarterback. You know, Texas A&M is a very physical running football team, and they run it downhill. They got a really physical runner. They've got big wide receivers that they look for one-on-one matchups with. They got a great scheme. They've got the designed quarterback runs. They've got the zone read quarterback runs. And then they've got the off-schedule quarterback runs with Marcel Reed. So you have to defend them at different layers in style of play. I think that we've done a really good job this season of utilizing the personnel that we have with guys that can get mobile quarterbacks on the ground. You think about an Anthony Hill Jr., a Colin Simmons, those types of guys that can get them on the ground. But our pass rush lanes are critical. Our discipline in the run game or run fits are critical. And at the end of the day, we've got to play a physical brand of football on defense.
Sark, thanks for being a trooper and hanging in there with us for this interview. We spoke to Ryan Day earlier today, and he was talking about the matchups. When you have teams evenly matched with their rosters, you talk about the offense and defense, how special teams can play a significant role in a game like this. Tell me about your special teams group, and what's your message to them coming into this big matchup against the Aggies tonight?
Yeah, you know, we take a great deal of pride on special teams. It's something that we've committed to since day one when we got here. I think we execute at a really high level. We're an aggressive special teams unit. I would love to get an opportunity to kind of change the momentum of the game, but I think vertical field position in this game is going to be critical. We've got to punt the ball well. We've got to cover kicks well. We've got to try to get a first down or two in the return game because the defenses are very good, and vertical field position, I think, is going to play a factor in the ball game tonight.
Sark, we appreciate you very much. Last time Texas was here, they had bragging rights for 13 years. And tonight, maybe in your first year in the SEC, win a spot in the SEC championship game. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach.
Here's Steve Sarkisian.
Appreciate you guys. Hook 'em. See ya.
He said hook 'em. But if people didn't hear at one point when Pat was asking Sark about the environment, one of you guys out in the crowd yelled, "He has no idea what's coming."
Yes.
We know the atmosphere as far as what we have an idea of what might be coming on the field tonight.
Yeah, Coach, I know you feel pretty adamant about some of these players on both sides of the football, and we're going to take a look at some of them and really just look at what has made Texas so good and so difficult to defend. The development of Gunnar Helm this year at tight end spot's been big.
You know, we spent a lot of time talking about Texas's quarterback and their great skilled receivers, but Gunnar Helm, the tight end who has great length, excellent hands, and a great instinct for getting open. Here you see him beat the safety man-to-man, uses his length to make a really good catch. So this guy is the leading receiver on the team, and most people don't know who he is. Now, I think it's interesting to point out here that he is an outstanding blocker, and that's allowed Texas to run more edge plays. We call them moon sweeps. But here you see him faking the block and them throwing him a tight end screen, which really kind of shows his ability to run after the catch. So I think this is a little bit of a secret weapon for, Texas and the Longhorns.
Something to keep an eye on today. Let's go about the A&M defensive front, and this guy is really talented.
Jamar Turner, man, he's kind of a one-gap player. He's got great quickness. You see him moving his hands and his feet here to split the double team, which, that's a talented guy. And pressure up the middle always affects the quarterback. That'll be important for the Aggies today.
And sometimes, Coach, people get caught up in sacks. It's not just sacks. It's like you just said, use the word affecting the quarterback.
Affect the quarterback, man. Pressures. Here's Nick Scorton right here. You see him beat number 50 off the edge. He does get a sack here. But I think the thing to point out with here, and we're also going to talk about Shamar Stewart in a minute, these guys can set the edge and make it difficult for you to run the ball in the perimeter as well as affecting the quarterback in the pocket.
Oh, get it?
Get it?
And here's number 4, Shamar Stewart. Again, he's working on number 50. He's going to get a pressure on the quarterback. But again, you make the quarterback flush out of the pocket. These kinds of plays are drive-stopping plays, which I think will be very, very important for Texas A&M against, Texas' offense.
Do you favor either side at the line of scrimmage, Texas's offensive line against this A&M defensive front? Is there an edge one way or the other?
Texas has a very experienced offensive line. They've got great size, good power, but at times they've struggled against good rushers like in the Georgia game.
And not to mention the crowd noise, right? They're going to have to deal with. That was at home. Now tonight, obviously it's here, get in front of the 12th man.
And that last pressure we saw from Stewart came against the guy that's going to be a first-round draft pick.
Right.
Emory Jones, a right tackle from LSU. Turkey's good. Brisket exceptional, some say. Forget the Thanksgiving leftovers. Oh, they're serving up some Bevo burgers. So what is it that you really enjoy from the Thanksgiving meal?
I got a bunch of favorites. I like mac. I like the sweet potatoes.
I love ham, and I love sweet potato casserole.
If we're talking about traditional Thanksgiving, give me mac. Some ham.
Favorite Thanksgiving food is definitely mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is awful. I absolutely hate mac and cheese. I think it's disgusting.
Some rolls, some greens.
My favorite is probably when my grandma makes sweet corn casserole and green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole, I think that is heinous. Cornbread, yeah, that's how my plate look.
In honor of the expanded bracket for the college football playoff, we put together the ultimate Thanksgiving bracket. Of course, turkey is the 1 seed, and the 8 seed is green bean casserole. So as you look at these things, who's going to advance here?
Well, I mean, that one's out. This one's definitely out.
Yeah, that's first one eliminated.
That one's first one out.
This was the cranberry salad. My mother loved cranberry salad.
So let's just assume it's any cranberry. This as a 2 seed versus this is a 3 seed. Everything else on the bracket is crop because this 2 and 3 seed here. Peter agrees.
No, I like that.
Peter agrees.
This
sweet potato should be higher.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet potatoes, that's a 6 seed that can make a run.
Definitely.
100%. Get all the way to the finals.
But mac and cheese is a staple.
That's a staple. 100%.
Unstaple, man. Anytime you're a little kid.
Who came up with this putting these
Jim
two against each
Galliera.
other?
He's got the worst taste buds in the history of society.
So we're Xing out the stuffing, right? Stuffing, dressing.
Yeah, that's a
doesn't make
winner.
difference.
You know what you do? If you got the good cranberry sauce with real cranberries, like my wife makes, you take it and you put it on top of the stuffing and the dressing. Right there.
So you got
Very Canadian.
What have you been saying? What have you been saying? What's the potato blasphemy that you've been saying?
Well, just mashed potatoes are just kind of, you know. And if you're going to have them not above stuffing, I mean, it's just a banana situation. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody, no matter what your taste buds are like.
Okay, wait just a second. I'm sorry about this. We have to break into this foolishness. Pete Thamel is going to join us now with some breaking news. Pete, what is it? You've got some breaking news right now for us?
Reese, my sources aren't going to take the potato slander that we've heard all week at
Exactly.
Gameday. Okay? Only one Thanksgiving side has its own bowl game, and that's the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. It's called the Blue Turf, gentlemen. Potatoes are going to go all the way.
Look for a stuffing bowl this upcoming year.
It must be a very lame bowl game.
Stovetop bowl. Everybody watch. Thanksgiving is the greatest stuff.
You like the stovetop right out of the box. There.
Boom. I think they've mastered it. We don't need to fix it. That's what I think.
don't mess with perfection.
Exactly. It's like Peter, baby.
We got a triple header coming up noon Eastern time on ABC. A lot of people here sort of in that leftover malaise, perhaps. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Auburn, and Alabama in the Iron Bowl, and then the one everyone's waiting on here, Texas and Texas A&M. We'll go into the film room. We barely mentioned Notre Dame and USC. Notre Dame perhaps can solidify its spot and get a spot in the playoff. And more from Columbus as Ohio State tries to win its way into the Big Ten championship game.
It isn't the holidays without a little magic. Inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Get everything to make your season jolly, delivered at the speed you need. The holidays have arrived at the Home Depot.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
We topped off the new Sonic Smasher you love with our creamy queso. With hand-smashed patties made to order, it's a cheesy love letter to your taste buds, and they're about to get real emotional. The new Double Sonic Queso Smasher, part of our Smasher lineup.
Let's go to our next segment, Fairest Calls, inspired by Geico's fair and fast 24/7 claim service.
Do we have to do the Geico stuff on them here?
Yep, we do. Let's play the clip.
Holding, number 53, 10-yard penalty.
This literally happens every game. Can we just skip to the action?
Nope, nothing but fair and fast claims, just like Geico. Here's the next clip.
But I don't want to play the clip.
Pass interference, number 34.
Wow, doesn't get any fairer than this, boys.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
ESPN Bet has seen green, Steven's A-list. Why can't I have a cool sounding featured bet?
Like what?
Molly's matchups.
I don't love it.
Molly's money lines. They call me the queen of money lines.
Do they call you that?
They should.
Mad Dogs Dogs. Mad Dogs Dogs! Yeah, I get it. It's no Steven's A-list.
Sign up for ESPN Bet to receive your welcome bonus and your first 30 days of ESPN Plus on us.
Whoa! With this online-only deal from Buffalo Wild Wings Go, you get 20 boneless wings and fries for $16.99. That's enough to feed you and, like, 2 friends. Or 1 if you're selfish. And I am selfish.
It is amazing. It used to have a collagen, used to have a probiotic, a green juice that replaced it all with this Arma colostrum. If you don't know what colostrum is, it is amazing, but it is a bioactive whole food. It has all the essential nutrients you need for your skin, your gut, energy, focus, mood, performance, your hair, like immune system. It strengthens, supports all of that. I think the first thing I noticed was the energy and recovery that it had after workout, but if you want to try it, try armor.com.
1, 2, 3, go!
We follow pizza drivers and make sure the customers get a Pepsi.
Is that legal?
It's a gray area.
That's the perfect combo.
You know how on Thanksgiving you have to loosen your belt a little? Well, take your pads off. Arby's deep-fried turkey is here all month. Arby's, we have the meat.
You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it.
We are not going to stop chasing the dream. You can't see.
You look up not giving up in the dictionary. A picture of my wife would be there.
You're one of the strong ones, okay? Just remember that.
You're stronger.
My dad would be so thankful for all of the lives that have been saved.
Morning, right.
Like you and I.
Welcome back to College Station. Beautiful morning. Closing in on the start of your day of football. The nightcap will be here in Kyle Field. 109,000 plus, much more than capacity. But just because they're letting extra people in, Jess Sims, doesn't mean it's easy to get in.
There we go. I'll tell you one thing, Reese. There are no Black Friday deals for tickets to tonight's game. I'm in section 125, row 4, and casually sitting in the most expensive non-premium seat in all of Kyle Field. What's the price tag, you may ask? Just a casual $3,992. Yes, $3,992. Now, according to Vivid Seats, the average price for a ticket is $1,025. And to give you a little context, last year at Energy Stadium in Houston for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, the average ticket price was $909. But take a look around right here. We are in Kyle Field, and there are 30,000 more seats than Energy Stadium has. So obviously the demand is off the charts, and all for a great reason. We got the Lone Star Showdown happening tonight. Reese?
Jess, and there's another traditional rivalry will be renewed this afternoon. Notre Dame and USC, 3:30 Eastern time. Notre Dame in the top 5 in the country. We take a look at today's road test presented by Goodyear. Now remember, Notre Dame can't be a top 4 seed. High seed they can be is 5. They almost certainly would wrap up a spot in the college football playoff if they can beat USC and if Riley Leonard continues his excellent play as Nick Saban breaks down in the film room.
You know, in talking to Riley Leonard's personal quarterback coach, he felt like one of the things that slowed him down in the early part of the season was he didn't have spring training because of the ankle injury, and it slowed down developing some chemistry with his receivers.
Well, and I think it also chemistry with the coaches.
Yeah.
In other words, the coaches not sure what the guy's strengths and weaknesses are because he didn't go through spring practice and how he would best fit in terms of style of offense and style of play for him. So I think early on, you see he's not very decisive. He's looking over here at this side, and then he comes back to the other side. This guy is going to be wide open in the middle of the field, but instead of just stepping up and throwing the ball and throwing with confidence, he misses a guy wide open. That
almost like he's surprised to see him and just got rid of it late or something.
All right, so here you see him again. He's reading this side of the field. His eyes are over here, comes back the other side of the field. All right, again, holding the ball, all right, and actually stepping up into pressure. Gives the DB a chance to react to the ball here, and he throws a pick, which, you know, some picks the defense makes really good plays, some picks are bad picks. That was a bad pick.
Yeah, but then, you know, after that loss to Northern Illinois, over the next 9 games, so he's been terrific.
The big thing to me that's different is you're going to see he's going to throw this chop route right here. All right, he knows it's middle of the field coverage. He's reading one side of the field, not hopping around in the pocket, sets his feet. And this is a really difficult throw. To throw a back shoulder throw on a chop route is really a difficult throw, and he does a great job of throwing it in there. Outside of the numbers, that's not easy. But again, you're going to see him this time. Catch, one step, slam. All right, now, he knows that this is split safety coverage. This is the same route he just threw against middle of the field coverage. All right, but on this one, he's got double slant over here, and you got to throw the ball opposite the mic, which he's reading the mic, comes right back to it right now, hits the guy right now, on time, explosive play.
Keep seeing him hit that back foot, let it go, delivery a little bit higher than maybe it was earlier, indicative of the confidence.
Now this is where it gets this is where confidence is really important because the field shrinks in the red zone. All right, so you're going to see him here. He's going to look over here, and you see there's 2 guys guarding this guy. All right, so that means he's got numbers on the other side. He identifies that immediately, and they're going to run what I call drive chase, where these guys are going to come in here, and then this guy's going to go out and come back in. He's going to go out there. They run out of numbers. It's a drive chase for a touchdown. It's a great read.
Last 9 games, he's accounted for 26 touchdowns, running and throwing, only 2 turnovers, really indicative of the change. So as a result of the level that he's playing at, assuming they win and get in the playoff, what kind of damage can they do with him at quarterback now?
Well, I think, first of all, he's playing with a lot of confidence, which is important. I think you got to give the coaches a lot of credit for doing the things that he can do. But his completion percentage is up, his explosive plays are up, better third down, better red zone. They've always played really good defense. So their offense is playing a lot better. They're running the ball, more play-action passes, which lead to more explosive plays. So I think this is a team that's playing complementary football that is a really good football team.
They're going to be challenged by USC today. Now, USC's lost 5 games, but they've had the lead in the fourth quarter of every one of them, and they've lost by a grand total of 19 points. But here come the Irish. Strength of schedule just a little bit better than 80. Great win here. Yeah. Awful loss against Northern Illinois, but one more hurdle, it would seem, before a playoff spot.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think Coach made a great point. He's talking about they're playing complementary football right now. Obviously, the offense is playing well with Riley Leonard, but I love the defense. They're number 2 in scoring defense, only allowing 11 points per contest. And they've went through some injuries, like lost some key players, especially Benjamin Morrison, their best corner, but they still were able to figure it out. I think that Al Golden, the defensive coordinator, he's been calling great games in a masterful way lately, and he will do it today against USC.
Yeah, you talk about the DC. Let's talk about the OC, Mike Denbrock. He was at LSU last year with Jaden Daniels. Now he's with Riley Leonard at Notre Dame. They're like number 2 in the country in yards per rush. And running back Jeremiah Love, 130 yards a game over the last 2 weeks and had 2 touchdowns per. Riley going, him going. I mean, it is that offense. They've been dominating people, too. I mean, not just like beating. They've been dominant.
But this athletically will be a good test against USC. Danton Lynn is doing a good job with his defense. One area that's been a concern is tackling. Now, they have played better their last 2 times that they've been out, only held UCLA to 13 points. This will be a different animal, Coach. I mean, I think Notre Dame's going to try to get them out in spades, and I think that balanced attack plus Riley Leonard's arm and feet, difference in his game today.
I think the big thing that Notre Dame has done well in the last few games is they are staying ahead of the sticks. Mm-hmm. They don't put a lot of pressure on the quarterback because they don't get a long yardage situation because they're running the ball effectively. And I think that makes a huge difference for them, and that's how they want to play. They don't want to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They want to play good defense and stay ahead of the sticks, not take a lot of chances, don't turn the ball over, see if the other team can beat us.
Good approach. Last 9 games, Riley Leonard's accounted for 26 touchdowns, only 2 turnovers. Now, because Notre Dame, when it's at USC, is the last game of this regular season before championship week, that means UCLA's got to find somebody to play. So they're playing Fresno State now, and you've got them on the board.
Yeah, watching that game last week, UCLA put a lot into it. I just look at the situation here. UCLA coming off that loss, giving over a touchdown. Fresno State gets fired up when they get to go play these big schools. We're going to take Fresno State plus the points.
Oh, the Bulldogs.
I don't know why it's not working.
All right. Oh, that's all right. Good tech.
You know what? You have persevered, much like the Cannon guys when they fumbled the cannonball over there. Yeah. You've had problems with your headsets. You've had problems with the board.
Hey, so I didn't get to see it. When the Cannon didn't go, they grabbed the live round out of the can.
Big shell.
And tossed it into a bucket of water.
I watched that.
The guy just put his hands on a live round?
Yeah.
I tell you what, they build them different down here in College Station. They do. Jeez Louise.
Rough, tough stuff, Texas A&M.
And then we got that ball to go off.
Speaking of tough.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one here. We talked to Ryan Day earlier in the show.
Yeah, Ryan Day, you made it clear this week how difficult these last 3 years have been for him, losing 3 straight to Michigan. He feels that personally. I think as a coach, he's going to rely on Will Howard today. Dez, not just throwing the ball, but he's going to have to use his feet today.
Yeah, Will Howard, he came here for one reason only is to help the Buckeyes beat Michigan and get to the college football playoff and hopefully win a national championship game. And he played well, very well last week against Indiana.
Well, Ohio State's got great running backs with Davion Henderson. But I'm telling you, this Michigan defensive line, these guys are the real deal. So Ohio State's going to have to control the line of scrimmage and be able to run the ball. But the big question is can Michigan have enough offense to score enough points to win against a very good Ohio State defense?
Yeah, a lot of weapons on that Ohio State offense, and obviously Chip Kelly's going to play. Jeremiah Smith, I got to see him last week in person. What? That's a freshman? I didn't know that was even possible. Becca Buka, obviously, he's been fantastic for the Buckeyes for a while now.
There's Mason Graham. That Ohio State offensive line's reconfigured, and for all of Michigan's problems, still got those guys up front.
Yeah, 55 is the guy to keep an eye on up front. Stewart's guy off the edge. They do a nice job of being able to apply the pressure. Not quite, obviously, the defense that they had a year ago, but those two big, stout guys in the interior, I think, have to be Ohio State's biggest concern.
And there's Davis Warren right there. He's a walk-on quarterback. Jim, I did an excellent piece on him. Beat cancer when he was in high school. Comes into this game just focused on trying to beat the Buckeyes. He has some great running backs behind him, like Khalil Mullins. This is just a downhill, north and south type of dude. Probably be his type of game. Want to play it in a phone booth. Heard the weather's supposed to be kind of nippy, maybe in the 30s.
Ooh, a little nippy.
Yeah, a little nippy.
And then obviously,
yeah, boy, get Tyler Morris in. There's your big fella.
Big Jack Sawyer. What a beast, dude. Just everything that Ohio State's about on the defensive end side there. Number 33, obviously, great number in the history of the Buckeyes.
And kickoff coming up at 12:14. In the last 70 years,
I like it.
Ranked Ohio State against unranked Michigan. Last 70 years, 10-1. See if they can make it 11-1. Pete, what about the check down?
Well, Reese, you just heard Nick talk about whether or not Michigan will have the offensive firepower today. Holston Loveland is now officially out. That was expected. That's reality. He has twice as many catches as the next Michigan pass catcher. For Washington today, DeMond Williams Jr., the star freshman, is expected to get an uptick in snaps and perhaps his first career start. For Texas, obviously, back behind me at Kyle Field, Quinn Ewers is going to start. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. We'll see if we end up seeing Arch Manning situationally on some obvious rundowns. And finally, for Syracuse, a lot of people superdog today, Trevor Pena, their leading receiver, is healthy and ready to go today. He'd missed the second half of that UConn game.
And Pete, Kyle McCord, the former Ohio State quarterback, leads the nation in passing yards per game against that Miami defense. Has come up with some interceptions. Longhorns and Aggies, more XO factors as they renew this rivalry with the highest of stakes. Spot in the SEC championship game at stake. And dude, perfect. We already saw him make a field goal.
I mean, that was
raise some money.
I thought he was gonna miss. And no, of course he buries it because, dude, he's perfect. Speaking of perfect.
Speaking of perfect,
what do you got?
This is third generation Aggie owned. Their motto is beat the hell out of TU, beat the hell out of
Dive right on in there. Look at you.
Look at that.
We got sides, we got the main.
Always gets
that over there.
Over here.
Yeah, that's what it's
Double baked stuff.
Cobbler. What's this? Boysenberry cobbler.
That's blackberry.
When do we start?
Turn on in Columbus. You can eat it.
Exactly. No brown bagging it today.
Oh wow, that's a phrase.
Whoa.
Drawing the most flavor out of something is a nuanced process. And if that doesn't work, deep fry it until it tastes delicious. Arby's, we have the meat.
The harder you push, the better we get. Introducing Copperfit Ice, the world's first compression sleeve with the cooling sensation of menthol. The more you move, the more you'll feel the support. Our most advanced compression sleeve yet, a more durable heavyweight weave with seamless four-way stretch for continuous compression and faster recovery of sore muscles and joints. Copperfit Ice. Get the full line of Copperfit Ice compression at these fine stores.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach! Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
While you were away, there were some developments. Fortunately, DoorDash can quickly come to your rescue. Your door to more. DoorDash.
Advil liquid gels are faster and stronger than Tylenol rapid release gels. Also from Advil, Advil Targeted Relief, the only topical with 4 powerful pain-fighting ingredients that start working on contact and lasts up to 8 hours.
Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius. Live fit.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
Save on any occasion with a fun $99 menu. Fill up on a queso wrap, grilled cheeseburger, and tots for under $6, or treat yourself to a new cream slush for just $1.99. Create the fun you want with the Sonic $1.99 menu. Live free, eat Sonic.
A Krispy Kreme truck on its way to McDonald's can only mean one thing. Fresh donuts are closer than you think.
Get a free coffee or soft drink with the purchase of a Krispy Kreme donut, only in the app.
We interrupt with an important announcement. The Simpsons Fun Day Football is coming to Springfield on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. On December 9th, Bart and the Bengals face off against Homer and the Cowboys in prime time. Football fans and Simpsons nerds finally come together to watch the game live from Springfield. Watch The Simpsons Fun Day Football between the Bengals and the Cowboys Monday, December 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus.
This time is different.
Oh my. Back here in College Station. Look what they're doing, Pat. They're sawing varsity's horns off.
There you go. They've been singing about that all morning. Devo had no idea what was coming.
That's what
Little nubs.
That's what the guy said. They have no idea what awaits them.
That was awesome. You can't spell stupid without TU. That's smart. Dude, perfect shit. They would make it. That Tyler guy is unbelievable.
Ridiculous athlete.
What's his problem? He might be one of those demons like O's the Mentalist.
O's the Mentalist? Oh, look at this. McConaughey's tuna salad. Someone says that it doesn't belong on the Thanksgiving board.
He was talking to Bert Kreischer about that, I think. And he puts a lot of stuff in there.
What'd you think of it? No?
It sounds delicious. Yeah. It's the most in-depth tuna salad I've ever heard. Really? Yeah, he goes all in. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I didn't get to saw the horns off, but what a time.
Texas A&M has trailed by double digits in its last 3 SEC games, and they erased all 3 deficits at one point, including being down 21 to Auburn, 14 to South Carolina. And I know they went on to lose those games. Other ones they came back to win. But resilience is a good thing. But counting on big comebacks against the Longhorns, it's not advisable against this defense. They lead the nation in yards per play allowed, their 3rd in scoring defense, and basically they've taken the opposite of the Texas A&M rally cap strategy. What Texas does, they get a big lead, and then they rely on their defense to turn into a python. You know how a python kills its prey? It squeezes and applies pressure until your brain is under too much pressure. And that's what Texas does. They squeeze you until your head explodes.
Whoa. We're the #1 defense in the nation, and we're going to impact every game. This defense is high effort, physical, smash mouth football.
Pressure coming, and he's sacked. Down he goes. That ball is intercepted.
They're very physical. They play with really good eye discipline, and they keep the ball in front of them.
The standard is to not let anybody get in our end zone.
Whether in the air or on the ground, you can't do nothing against us.
We'll have to make the right reads and adjustments and take those easy throws that they give to us.
It's a keeper by Marcel. Marcel Reed. Touchdown, Aggies.
I feel like he's elite the way he can look downfield as he's running, but also be able to make people miss in space.
He can sit back in the pocket and do it with his arm, too.
There's going to be a thing just to contain him, using his legs, and then playing good coverage, sticky coverage.
When you play teams like this, all 11 need to play well consistently throughout the game.
We got to go out. We got to play our level of football, championship level football.
It's a championship level game. Bears repeating. Winner to the SEC championship game. Best in the game. Brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Lines, helping the world keep promises. You see what Texas defense has been able to do, allowing just under 250 yards per game while the A&M offense has been pretty prolific since Marcel Reed has taken over full-time at quarterback. It's a dangerous offense now. A&M ranked 20th in a great matchup against the Hornets D.
Yeah, remember, that was a big decision that Coach Elko had to make to go with Marcel Reed. And obviously on the film room, we showcased some throws that he makes. But with his legs, he is devastating. You pair that with Amari in the backfield, this team runs the rock very well. And I want to show some love to their offensive line. Look at the size of these dudes. 6'7", 6'6", 6'5", 6'7", 330, 330, 315. They are massive, and they lean on you. So what it feels like in the first quarter, it's going to feel much worse in the fourth quarter. It's just simple zone play. Man on man, big meat on smaller meat. And the running back finds the hole and then takes that to the crib. They run the rock. And the reason why is because of how big, strong, and talented this offensive line is. Same exact thing. Nothing that special. Old school football. Man on man. Find a hole. Hit it. Get it. Extend it. That is what this offensive line is able to do with the weapons they have in the backfield. Now, here's a little movement, huh? This third play, like weak side counter. Pulled backside guard in the wing is the second puller. Got that from A.Q. Shipley. He said, Bob, this is a sophisticated play. And that's what they do with the offense. They can run it. Marcel Reed's getting better at throwing it, so they can protect them. They can move the rock, and if they have to close out a game, like a python that's wrapping around the body until the brain goes out. The offensive line is able to do that, and I think they're big, and I think they're talented, and I think Mike Elko knows that.
Well, I love AQ on your show.
He's got a big brain.
Big brain, big fella. I love when he dissects what's going on in the inside.
Yeah. He will, yeah. He'll block the hell out of you. Just like these boys out here.
I'll long arm you again.
No, you gotta stop. All right, let's break down Texas against Pat's Texas A&M offense. One thing that you have to understand is this Texas team, now we don't know how good they are, but if you've watched them based on who they played this year, they have size, they have athletic ability, and most importantly, they have experience. So I think they travel, they come into a hostile environment like this with a ton of confidence. Now, they lost some big boys up in the middle that are now in the NFL, but they're still stout on that inside. Vernon Broughton, 45, leads the way here, handling that double team to free the backers, and then still, Coach, ends up making a play, splitting that double team. 45, you want to keep an eye on him. Off the edge, if they get you into third down, look out, Marcel Reed, because he can bring the heat. This kid's a true freshman, 6'3", 245 pounds. And then you look at the linebacker spot, Anthony Hill. I think it's the best Texas middle linebacker they've had in a long time. Second year now, the range, the vision, getting more and more comfortable with the scheme. They'll drop him on the edge opposite of Simmons on third downs. And then the Clemson transfer, Andrew Mukuba, a guy that understands this scheme. They said they were blown away with how quickly he picked things up. Brings a great deal of experience from his days at Clemson. You add him to the back end of all the experience that they have. These guys are playing as well as any secondary in the entire country. And the reason I say that, it's not just their ability. They're playing 5 as one. They're playing as a unit, which makes them so tough.
And they're only giving up like 12 points a game, which is like number 3 or something like that in the country. Mm-hmm. And I think the real key for this is they are so athletic on defense. Their linebackers can run. They're very athletic in the secondary. They get lots of interceptions. And the key to the game, to me, is Marcel Reed. Can they control him from running?
Right.
Whether it's scrambling or quarterback runs. And if they can do that, and I think you have a better chance to do that when you have an athletic defense, they're going to have, that'll be the key for them to stop A&M's offense.
No doubt.
Well, Coach, you know, just like anybody else, especially as a defensive coach, that it's one thing to see a player on film, but it's a whole nother world to have to deal with him live on the field. And that's what Texas's defense is going to have to go up against when they're going against Marcel Reed, 6'2", 180, very athletic, deceptively fast. When I watch him on film and watch him in person, 2 different speeds. They haven't seen the quarterback that with this type of athleticism. They're going to have to try to adjust to that, and then from there see if their defensive game plan will work.
And one of the things about that is you can't simulate that in practice.
100%.
You can't have a guy scramble around like that and run like that. Yeah. You don't have a guy like that on your team that can do what he does in a game. So the players have to adjust to it during in game.
All right, Steve, I think you have another game on your board, but before you get there, let's stay on this game.
Oh, I get to go first on this game?
You get to go first on this game.
You got the first two things. You guys touched on it all. Tackling in space, who does it better tonight? That's the key to the game. And then this crowd. right here against that Texas offensive line. Who wins that matchup? Texas A&M covers. Texas wins the game.
They're hissing at you.
I get it.
Okay, so
I wanted to pick them.
You've got one more SEC.
I got one more SEC.
Oklahoma,
New
LSU.
rivalry, LSU. Oklahoma's got a running quarterback. I think they hang in the game the whole night. Give me Oklahoma plus the points.
You think they win it outright?
They'll have a chance.
I like that.
Come on, bro.
That's how exact he is. He's 24-15 on it.
Yeah, that's true.
No, they don't win it outright.
They don't win it outright.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I answered.
Okay, I'm glad you did. I appreciate that. But the record is just whether you get it against the spread. That's all you need. Maybe we'll let you pick and chime in here with Clemson and South Carolina. Dabo Swinney, Shane Beamer. This game coming up in a moment. Now, Beamer's trying to enhance a potential at-large resume as DoorDash is counting us down to kickoff. Dabo, meanwhile, sitting back hoping that Miami loses and they can get the ACC championship game, or maybe they're the last one left standing and they wind up as the least objectionable option to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, we've talked about South Carolina, their defense, but I think it's all about their offense. Lenore Sellers, redshirt freshman, first year starting, and man, he's gotten better and better as the season's progressed. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, especially his decision making. His growth, development early in the season against Kentucky. They're going to bring four. They're showing 6 as a 3-3 configuration. They bring 4. They don't have the right blocking scheme. He gets grabbed. Now he panics and throws the ball away, almost making it a disaster because it could have turned to an interception. Now here he is later in the season against the Aggies. They show 6. They bring 4. They get a free runner. He does not panic. He spins out of the tackle, escapes the pocket, and throws for a chunk play down the field. Guys, a 6'3", 240 pounds, extremely athletic. I say he has elite athleticism right here. Look, he's going to have the crossing route wide open, but the left tackle is in his vision. So he moves out to his left to try to escape the pressure, and then he's just one-on-one with the linebacker, Jason Henderson. He gives him the heezy and a little burst. Let me show you in slow motion. Gives him the dead leg, and then watch this burst. Henderson doesn't even get a hand on him. I mean, he's not even down if it was touch football.
Nice little double clutch there,
that type of burst, man. The Henderson is not any ordinary linebacker. This kid led the nation in tackles per game with 14 per contest, and that's the guy right there, Lenore Sellers. He's gotten better and better, and he is the reason why they will beat Clemson today.
Ooh, got a little double clutch there. I love that. Little Rocket Sanders here, running back. Obviously, the South Carolina team loves to run the rock. He's certainly going to have to help that. Now, down at Clemson as opposed to in South Carolina, the run game going to be even more pivotal in this particular game.
Well, you know, Cade Klubnik has had an outstanding year for Clemson, but I really do think that he's going to have his hands full today with this front that South Carolina has in terms of their ability to pass rush. They're difficult to run the ball against. They're physical. They play with great toughness. But if anybody can take advantage of it, I think Klubnik is going to be the guy that can do it with his arm as well as his feet.
Well, this is what you're talking about. These guys are as big and as strong and as athletic as really any defensive line in the SEC, and they've been able to stay healthy. Kennard, the transfer, has done a nice job. Stewart done a nice job, and they just, I think, play with a great deal of confidence. Klubnik's played well, but has he played well against a great defense? That's what he needs to show today.
You know, Nick's talked about rivalries of proximity. That's what this has been. They've only played 6 times prior to this as ranked opponents. South Carolina's won 5 of them, which is kind of strange when you consider how Clemson has dominated this rivalry historically over the years. As we say hello again to Jess, who's with Dude Perfect, ready to make some picks. Jess.
Yes, Reese, I'm here with the trick shot experts and former Paul teammates right here at Texas A&M. Dude Perfect, thanks so much, guys, for being here.
Happy to be here.
Now we're back where it all began. Let's take a walk down memory lane. Let's turn around right here. 2009. Talk to me about how this shot came about and how it went viral.
Yeah, so I was a sophomore at the time at A&M. Kobe and I think were driving to class, and we were driving by Kyle Field, and we had already done our very first video, which had a little bit of success, but it wasn't anything crazy. And so I said, hey, you're a communications major, Kobe. Get us in the stadium, and I'll make a shot from the third deck. And we ended up making the shot, woke up the next morning, and it had about 2 million views online, which at that time was enormous for us, obviously. And so
well, it's still enormous. I know, relatively speaking, yes, but 15 years ago to now. Now, Tyler, y'all added kicks to your tricks today.
Yep.
But can you add picks?
Oh, that's good, Jack. That's good.
Am I part of the team?
Yes,
Okay.
That was good.
Well, coming up next, can't wait to see it.
The best deals of the season have arrived.
So, what are you working on?
Putting up the tree. Done putting up the tree.
Whoa. And decking out the house. Don't forget the big guy. Got him right here.
Get Black Friday savings now at the Home Depot.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
We topped off the new Sonic Smasher you love with our creamy queso. With hand-smashed patties made to order, it's a cheesy love letter to your taste buds, and they're about to get real emotional. The new Double Sonic Queso Smasher, part of our Smasher lineup.
On a reflective Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Dad, do you ever feel like college football is being changed by all this corporate money flooding into the sport?
I'm sorry I missed that. I was just grabbing a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
I just feel like the brands are taking over.
Dr. Pepper's strawberries and cream for my two thirsty boys.
You see what I mean?
You're overreacting, pal.
Aflac! That's the Aflac duck.
It's a normal duck.
He's waving a branded flag. Aflac!
It's a pennant.
My whole life is a commercial!
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
Gear up for game day. Enjoy the home field advantage at Fairfield, official partner of the NCAA.
L'Oréal Paris presents a shocking thriller.
Gray roots won't haunt you anymore.
Magic root cover-up
3, 2, 1, done. Say goodbye, Grace.
by L'Oréal Paris.
You're worth it.
If you love life, get your deep-fried turkey sandwiches at Arby's. If you like flirting with death, deep fry your turkey at home and risk blowing it up. 2 solid options here. Arby's, we have the meat.
A Krispy Kreme truck on its way to McDonald's can only mean one thing. Fresh donuts are closer than you think.
Get a free coffee or soft drink with the purchase of a Krispy Kreme donut, only in the app.
2 elite conferences loaded with talent on the spotlight.
This is spectacular.
Under the lights, which side will shine the brightest?
Wiley hits the ties at home. Hidalgo with a major highlight.
And whose legend will grow?
Are you not entertained?
Big-time players step up in big-time moments. The SEC-ACC Challenge. Texas Notre Dame at 7, Duke South Carolina at 9. Next Thursday on ESPN. 2 elite conferences loaded with talent on the spotlight.
Let's go!
Which side will shine the brightest?
Are you not entertained?
And whose legend will grow?
Spectacular.
The SEC-ACC Challenge. Next Thursday on ESPN.
Takes the handoff. It's a refurb. When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
College Game Day is built by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. And in part by Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly.
They're ready to. We saw them sawing the horns off earlier. Now they're horns down. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, ready for every challenge the road game may bring. Goodyear is more driven. Of all the great moments this morning, maybe the guy chiming in when we were asking Sark a question, he has no idea what is waiting on him tonight. It's tremendous. Celebrity guest picker Kyle Schwarber, Indiana. What a year for Indiana. Still sitting atop the picks. And now, Tyler representing Dude Perfect. I think the entire group's going to be here to participate before it's all over in our Coors Light Saturday selections. And let's start in the Big 12. Now, a lot of convoluted answers, but Arizona State has a chance to get in the Big 12 championship game. A good one, but they've got to win. Did they beat Arizona?
Tough game for Arizona State on the road. But I like the wide receiver Jordan Tyson to have a big game. I'm going on Sun Devils.
I like Arizona State here, too. Sam Leavitt's been one of the best, freshmen in the country playing quarterback for Arizona State. You know, I love Scatterboo, so I'm taking Arizona State.
Yeah, they both only gotten better as the season gone on as well. And what happened at the end of last week's game with Coach Dillingham, a lot to improve on. So I think they're not taking this week off. I think Arizona State continues their journey to the Big 12 championship.
I've got Arizona State as well. Their mascot's name is Sparky. We've got our own Sparky at Dude Perfect. Give me Arizona State.
Hey, Greg, go to Arizona State was picked last in the Big 12.
Yeah, what a job.
And the first, now Arizona State making it.
They got to get it done. But Kenny Dillingham's done an amazing job, as you just mentioned, along with Coach Prime in this conference. I think Arizona's going to be so focused on stopping Scatterboo. I think it's Sam Levitt. I think his ability to throw the football give them balance. Sorry, guys, I couldn't save you. Yeah. Couldn't save the graphic. That's not usually when it's all one way. The other team wins.
Just in case, insurance.
Yeah, the most likely Big 12 championship game, and it will be this if there's a four-way tie at the top, would be Arizona State and Iowa State. But to get in that tie, Iowa State has to beat K-State. What happens?
K-State can run the ball extremely well, especially with their quarterback, Avery Johnson. But I think Iowa State's defense is up for the challenge. They win a close one. I'm going Iowa State.
I like Iowa State, too, but the key to the game is Iowa State has not stopped teams running the ball very well. They're going to have to do that today against K-State.
Yeah, DJ Giddens, running back for K-State, is obviously a dog. But I, just like you two fine gentlemen, I'm going with Iowa State and Coach Campbell. I think he figures it out. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen.
It is again.
I've got the Cyclones' first 10-win season in program history.
Yeah.
How about that?
They were great.
Hey, good. Yeah, yo-yo season for Iowa State, but they win by a field goal.
Well, Kansas State plays good defense, but I think they'll be challenged in a big way. You know, this Iowa State team, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, both these guys over 900 yards receiving. Too many weapons. I like the Clones.
Okay, so now BYU is also in this. They need some circumstances to get into the championship game. First thing they have to do is beat Houston at home.
Yeah, BYU fell off the map for a couple of weeks, lost a tough one against Arizona State last week. But I think the Cougars bounce back. I think they're going to beat Houston.
Yeah, I like the Cougars as well. I think Houston struggles offensively. I think BYU's improved on defense. I think that'll be the difference.
I like BYU as well because of how they performed second half against Arizona State last week. I think they're back.
We've been touring for 5 years now, and there is one show that is behind our Dallas show every single year, and it's not Houston. Salt Lake City fans are on another level. Give me BYU.
That's great.
Shout out to the Mormons.
BYU. I think that same reason. 2 touchdowns.
Houston fired their offensive coordinator mid-year. They don't have the offensive firepower to stay with BYU. I like the Cougs.
And you'll have to wait till the end of the night in all likelihood to know for sure who's in the Big 12 championship game. Now, SMU's in the ACC title game. They're a 2-touchdown favorite against Cal. I'm told that everybody across the board is going with the ponies on ESPN.
Closer than the experts. Closer than the experts. I think your Superdog's safe there. You'll get some more points, buddy. Don't worry. Don't fret.
Oh, now, see, you're trying to reverse psychology. Now, the question is, who will SMU play in the ACC title game? If Miami wins, it's the Hurricanes. They beat Syracuse?
Yeah, I think that the Miami Hurricanes will beat Syracuse. I think they're locked in. I went to visit with them earlier this week, and I think they're focused.
I got to go with the Canes as well, but they need to get ahead 2 scores in this game because don't trust the defense, man. It's hard not to feel good when you're not 2 up.
Yeah, they've had that for 5-6 weeks or whatever, and Coach Corso would say get 2-score lead and hold on. I think that's exactly what Miami's going to have to do, although Syracuse spins it often and regularly.
I've got Miami winning this one.
Miami wins it, but watch out for the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
It's closer than the experts think.
Okay,
real close.
It is a hostile environment. Miami's quarterback Cam Ward has found a way to bring his team out. He's going to be tested today. Quarterback duel. McCord out-duels.
Wow.
Cam Ward. Syracuse at home wins, which means Clemson, if that happens, would go to the ACC championship to play SMU.
Yeah, and Justin, I know everybody knows this, but it doesn't really matter what Clemson does against South Carolina. That's all about the Miami-Syracuse game. Rivalry game here. Dan Lanning has never beaten Washington. Everybody's saying it happens today that Oregon wins. They're an 18.5-point favorite. What about Notre Dame and SC?
I think defense travels. Notre Dame's defense is one of the tops in the country as far as scoring defense. Number 2, actually only allowing 11 points per contest. Close game, Fighting Irish will win.
Yeah, I like Notre Dame as well. I think Notre Dame is one of the teams that has improved gradually as the season's gone on after that tough loss versus Northern Illinois. I think they're playing as well as anybody in the country.
DC Golden, offensive coordinator Denbrock, boys are buzzing. Riley Leonard is a buzzsaw. I am very worried about how these picks are going today, though. Feels like chaos is on the horizon. I have Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame took care of my Aggies' first game of the season. I think they take care of business tonight.
Never bet against the Catholic. Never bet against the Catholic. Notre Dame.
Jeremiah Love, I tell you what, he's becoming the bell cow in this offense to take some of the pressure off of Riley Leonard. I think that combination, Leonard in the play action, you're shaking your head no. You going SC? I'm going Notre Dame. You going SC?
Save us.
You picking them straight up?
Straight up.
Put that on the screen.
Straight up.
Impressive. That's impressive.
USC wins the game.
What do you think, lad?
Auburn and Alabama, this spread has come down to 10.5. Who wins the game?
Ooh-wee. I think that Alabama coming to this game psychologically messed up from what happened a week ago in Norman when they only scored 3 points. I think they're going to bounce back. They need their crowd behind them. I don't think they're going to cover, but I think Bama wins.
Do you need to ask?
No, I think I know the answer here.
Are you going to this? Are you going to make it?
I mean, I got no choice but Alabama.
They're playing the game on Saban Field, and I'm picking a team that calls it home. Give me Alabama to bounce back after a wake-up call last week.
I don't remember what a 4-loss Alabama team looks like. Give me Alabama.
Yeah. Auburn, closer to the experts think.
You know, I may still have a bad taste in my mouth from calling that Oklahoma-Alabama game last week. Auburn dominated the line of scrimmage last year in this game. Coach, I love you. I think War Eagle goes into Tuscaloosa and upsets Alabama.
You know, there have been Auburn's played at a high level. They've just made mistakes and lost games. A lot of their stats look good. Tennessee and Vandy.
Way too much firepower with Tennessee. I think Tennessee rolls Vandy today.
I'm all for Tennessee. I think Tennessee's defense will stop Vandy's Diego Pavia. Yeah, okay.
All right. For that reason, and I know Morgan Wallen, University of Tennessee legend, has put up $500,000 for any fines for any Tennessee fans that take the uprights and drag them down Broadway over there in Vandy. With that being said, give me Vandy and Diego Pavia to beat Tennessee today.
I thought I was going to save us there. I've got Vandy as well, Pat. Yeah, I see a lot of myself in Diego. Short on size, full of passion, though. I think they get it done.
Can he kick?
Finally.
Give it to him.
Not so fast, my friend.
He loves it.
Finally, Tennessee.
You know, you like this roll up your sleeves kind of game. Tennessee can take advantage of Vandy playing so much cover two. Look for Dylan Sampson to be a big difference in this game. I like Tennessee.
Okay, that comes up at noon on ABC. Michigan and Ohio State.
In the words of the great Nick Saban, do you have to ask?
I'll put that down for Mason Blue. I will ask you.
Man.
I coach at Ohio State, so I'm picking Ohio State. I think they're one of the best teams in the country.
For me, 21-point favorites, okay, at home. You've lost to the other team 3 straight times. The other team's best player on defense not playing and on offense not playing. If Ryan Day doesn't win this by 5 scores today, the Ohio fans are going to go bananas. So with that being said, give me Ohio State and the Buckeyes getting a massive win over the Michigan Wolverines today.
Okay. Ohio State's a very good football team, no question about it. But if you go back 15 years to the very first Dude Perfect video, I'm wearing a Block M maize and blue hat. I've got family ties to Michigan. Earlier this week, we had the privilege of filming with the great Tom Brady, filmed a video at our office with him. Had a very good conversation. I asked him specifically about this game. I feel as good about this pick as I do any of them. Ohio State's going to win by a lot. It could get ugly.
Nice pick. The 21-point favorites. Thinks he got rid of it. Payback. All 3.
That coach is gone.
I think if there's anything to pay attention to for Ohio State, it's their offensive line. Their offensive line has been reshuffled against Penn State. They answered the bell. Reshuffled last week against Indiana. Answered the bell. big challenge against Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant. I think the game early will be competitive. I think Ohio State's just too much better as a team overall. Ohio State wins very, very convincingly.
Peter picks the Buckeyes as well.
And after 13 long years, tonight we will see a psychotic, emotional stew of arrogance and insolence, contempt and derision. And all I've got to say is, it's about freaking time.
Hey, all right.
Just hearing about this game all year, knowing that it's right here in front of us, I couldn't be more excited.
Kids like me have grown up dreaming about playing in this game. It decides who's the winner of Texas.
An in-state rivalry like no other. This is one of those rivalries where households are divided, the state's divided, and all the while with so much at stake.
It's for all the marbles and a place in Atlanta and a chance at the SEC championship.
Everything that you worked for is right there for you to go get. Kick this door down, play hard football, go get it.
And here we go. Hook 'em or gig 'em.
Listen, we've been talking a lot about Marcel Reed and the Aggies offense, but I think this game's going to be one in the trenches. I love A&M's defensive front. I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on Quinn Ewers. I'm going gig 'em, howdy.
You know, of all the places in the SEC, this is the place that I respected most. I respected the tradition, the spirit, the passion. Coming to play here was the hardest place to play in the SEC, but I'm taking Texas.
Put the move on him.
Speaking of Texas, Coach Sarkisian looked comfortable and confident. Quinn Ewers a little banged up, but if Arch Manning has to go into the field, he's going to slice and dice. Obviously, he's a Manning. Isaiah Bond is an absolute stud at wide receiver for Texas. Gunner, the tight end, so good. Almost too much for any team to be able to beat them, especially some farming school in College Station. You're talking about workhorses versus show horses. You're talking about blue collar versus everything handed to them. You're talking about starting from the bottom. You're talking about living at the top. You're talking about the underdog versus the expected. You're talking about Texas A&M beating Texas to get to the SEC championship. And their work boots have dirt on them. They ain't just show ponies walking around downtown Austin.
I like it, Pat. I like it. I think Coach Saban and the Longhorns are forgetting about one thing, because when you walk into Kyle Field, it is not 11 people that you're going against on the other side of the field, okay? Because we're talking about a fan base who holds a practice just to make sure they are unified and loud enough for the game when their team needs them, okay? We are talking about a fan base so loud that they can directly affect the outcome of the game.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're talking about the 12th man out here.
Yeah.
And not only are we going to saw varsity's horns off, but I'll tell you what else we're going to do to them. Pass it back, Eggs.
He's got the form there.
Beat the hell out of TU. Give me the Eggs. Oh, yeah, thank you. I've been practicing that ever since. I've never done that before.
Look at LC. LC, what do you got?
Who's your pick? And I can see that. It's a great fans, greater. Here, this is for you.
Oh, you want me to hold this? You sure you don't want to hold this?
I'm on.
Oh, that's A&M. You're picking A&M.
Toss it that way.
Forget it. Give me Bebo.
Toss it to your left.
Oh, no.
There we go. Fight. Lee Corso picked Texas to win the national championship, and he's hanging in there again. Man, it's awesome to have this rivalry back. What a crowd you guys were this morning. Great atmosphere. It'll be that way tonight. Enjoy your day of college football.